Hello everyone, welcome back to Cami Tarot. Thank you so much for always following and supporting the channel. The moment you're watching this video is truly the right time for you to receive this message. On this channel, I always bring you messages about what's about to unfold in your life. When you open yourself to receive and believe in the positive, you're also aligning with a parallel world, one where your wishes have already come true. Today, through this tarot reading, I hope to help you gain clarity in your love life and bring your desires closer to reality. The topic of today's reading is, what is your person thinking during this time apart? This message is meant for those of you who are currently unable to see that person, or even if you still see them, you're curious to know what goes through their mind when you're not around. Let's dive in together and explore the message, shall we? I've chosen 3 cards, corresponding to Pile 1, Pile 2, and Pile 3. Take a deep breath. Listen to your intuition, and choose the card that you feel most drawn to. Then, click on the timestamp in the description box to go directly to your reading. Now, let's begin the reading for those of you who have already made your selection. Hello, Pile 1 friends. Thank you for waiting. Now, I'll begin the reading for those of you who chose Pile 1. I hope this session brings you healing, new insights, and moments filled with love. The topic of today's reading is, what is your person thinking during this time apart? Let's begin. The first card that appears is the Lovers, carrying a deeply emotional and romantic energy. However, it seems that at present, there may be misunderstandings or a lack of mutual understanding between the two of you. This is further supported by the appearance of the Two of Cups in reverse, representing disagreements, emotional disconnection, or spiritual disharmony. It looks like this is a time of distance between you and your person, perhaps a physical separation, or more profoundly, a sense of emotional detachment. For some of you watching this reading, it's possible that you've stopped seeing this person altogether. And even if you're still in contact, it feels like the connection isn't what it used to be. It could also be that you've broken up, and you're now hoping for reconciliation. Or perhaps you're currently in a tense phase after an argument or misunderstanding. There's also a possibility that you've recently begun to feel doubts about this person. These doubts may have slowly built a wall within you, creating an emotional distance that keeps growing. The reading suggests that it's not just about physical space, it's the emotional gap, the lack of understanding, and the presence of unspoken doubts that are gradually wearing down the bond between you two. However, in the position of the past, we have the Fool, a card that suggests this may have been a relatively new relationship, or that you and this person entered into it with a spirit of adventure, without setting clear expectations. From the beginning, perhaps you already knew that this relationship would come with distance, such as a long-distance situation or various external obstacles, but you still chose to step into it, not knowing where it would lead. Even if the two of you had not officially started a relationship, you may have sensed that being with this person would mean facing many challenges. And maybe you were the one who accepted that right from the start, with the mindset, no matter what, I want to try and see what happens. One thing is clear. Even if this person may have been or still is in another relationship, the emotions they feel for you are undeniable. It's as if they themselves don't quite know what to do with those feelings, and in the end, they simply thought, well, let's just give it a try. It's possible that both of you had once made a decision, despite the geographical distance, to try your best to meet, to set small but meaningful boundaries in the relationship in order to maintain the connection, and to simply keep going from there. The overall feeling that radiates from this reading is that this is a love that, from the very beginning, has been unclear about its future. Perhaps the emotions between the two of you were not fully formed. Maybe one of you, or even both, were still uncertain about whether what you felt was truly love. Even so, you both decided to step into this relationship, not out of impulse or recklessness, but because the pull between you was so deep, so irresistible. And once you stepped in, reality began to reveal itself. Challenges, obstacles, things that didn't go as hoped. Yet, the message from the cards is that there is still so much hope for this connection. Though this may be a path full of trials, requiring effort and commitment from both sides, the direction this relationship is taking is becoming more and more promising. In the position representing their current feelings, we see the Queen of Pentacles. This card suggests that your person possesses a nurturing and grounded soul. They're someone who naturally wants to support, care for, and create a sense of safety for the one they love. This is the type of person who is willing to embrace all of who you are, the strengths, and even the most vulnerable parts. If they are a man, they likely carry a strong, mature, and responsible energy, someone who wants to protect the one they love. If they are a woman, she embodies the energy of a maternal figure, deeply affectionate, emotionally profound, and someone who knows how to love warmly and wholeheartedly. However, when looking at the expression on the Queen of Pentacles card this time, I sense something different from the usual. Typically, this card conveys a calm and graceful demeanor, radiating warmth and compassion. But here, her face carries a quiet sadness, as if she is closing herself off, inwardly withdrawn, silently holding onto unspoken feelings. What comes through is the sense that this person is trying very hard, not just to be nurturing but to be strong, to be a source of support for you. They may be striving to earn more money so they can offer you a better life, or perhaps they're suppressing personal issues in order to preserve this love. They are pushing themselves to be someone worthy of you, to love you in the most complete and wholehearted way they can. But because of that, the effort is beginning to exhaust them. It's possible that they are starting to feel like they can no longer bear all of this on their own. Still, this does not come from any demand or pressure on your part. In fact, you haven't forced them to take on this burden at all. It's just that they've set their own expectations, such as believing that in order for you to be happy, they must first achieve certain things, reach certain milestones, or become a specific version of themselves. And now, those self-imposed pressures are becoming a heavy weight they carry silently. On your emotional side, the card the Lovers has appeared, one of the most magical and profound cards in the tarot deck. And when it is paired with the Nine of Cups, the card that symbolizes emotional fulfillment and happiness in love, it forms a powerful combination, especially in the context of romantic relationships. The appearance of these two cards together indicates that the bond between you and your person is incredibly deep. This could very well be a significant soul connection, relationship touched by destiny. Even if the connection is still relatively new, it seems that the two of you have been powerfully drawn to each other. It's precisely because of this intense attraction that both of you may sometimes act impulsively, unable to control your emotions, simply diving headfirst into the connection. This relationship seems to transcend logic, for the emotional resonance between you two is undeniable. And it's mutual. You may feel very clearly that this person is your destined one. Even if things between you are uncertain at the moment, deep down you still carry the desire to continue forward with them, to build a shared future together. There is a strong inner sense that no matter what happens, this person is yours, and you are theirs. It feels as though the two of you are twin flames, inseparable souls who have found their way back to each other. However, there's a small detail that caught my attention, a crow's feather-like image appearing between the two of you. It gives me the sense that something may be interfering with this connection, perhaps the presence of a third party, a geographical distance, or external obstacles such as life circumstances, social status, family issues, or personal responsibilities. And even if none of these external factors are clearly present, it's possible that you're experiencing a sense of unease from within. You may have a vague feeling that your person is hiding something, as if there's a part of their world that hasn't been revealed to you. Even when you're with them, and you feel that bond, the care, the warmth, the sense of being protected and trusted, there's still a quiet part of you that can't rest. You may often wonder what they're truly thinking, what they're doing when you're not around, what they're feeling, and whether they're still thinking of you. It's as if these things are hidden behind a veil, just out of reach. I sense that your person is the type who tends to keep everything inside, someone who struggles to express emotions or open up about what's really going on within them. And this also echoes in the energy that appears in the future position of the reading. There's a possibility that, moving forward, your relationship may enter a phase of stillness, or even temporary separation. However, this period of pause may also serve as a time for your person to deeply reflect on the relationship. The reading suggests that, in the end, they will arrive at a positive decision, a desire to take this relationship seriously, to face the challenges together with you, and even a longing to take things further, such as committing fully or considering marriage. The future appears to be unfolding with hope and promise. That said, at this very moment, your person still seems to be carrying a heavy emotional burden. When I drew a card to look more deeply into their inner state, the Three of Swords appeared, a card of heartbreak, pain, and emotional turmoil. It indicates that they are truly struggling and going through a period of inner fracture. There's a sense of sorrow, as if their heart is breaking. It makes me wonder if some of you have, in fact, already parted ways with this person. This reading clearly shows that they are burdened with regret and inner conflict. Perhaps the two of you have indeed broken up, but you still hold them close in your thoughts, still care deeply, while they, on the other hand, are blaming themselves for being powerless, for not being able to keep you by their side. This person seems to be feeling immense sadness and heartache over the fact that the two of you are no longer together. It can be said that during times of separation from you, your person falls into a very negative emotional state. Or perhaps right now, they are going through an incredibly difficult phase in their own life. The appearance of the Universe card gives me the sense that this person may carry the soul of a starseed, someone whose spirit originates from higher dimensions or distant star systems. They may often feel out of place, as if they don't quite belong in the earthly world. There may be a constant yearning within them to return to some faraway place, an invisible homeland somewhere out there in the cosmos. This is someone who holds a very high frequency, with deeply sensitive energy. Before meeting you, they likely had to push themselves to simply exist, to adapt to society, to keep pace with the rhythm of this world. Perhaps they lived from a place of logic and control, suppressing their emotions and enduring just to get by. But when they met you, something within them softened, as if the shell they'd worn for so long began to crack. And this is not a negative thing at all. On the contrary, your presence, your affection, your love, or even just your energy has brought healing into their life. Even if the two of you haven't officially become a couple, just being able to talk with you, to spend a little time in your presence, has already brought them a deep sense of comfort and emotional relief. I sense that you are the one who brought this person salvation. Through you, they began to recognize the wounds they had long avoided, the pain they never dared to confront. It's possible that in the past, this person endured immense hardship and emotional suffering, carrying it all silently on their own. But when they encountered the love you offered, they could no longer hold it in. All the emotions they had repressed for so long, everything they had swallowed down, suddenly surged to the surface like a dam bursting. Before, they may have moved through life as though unscathed, quietly stepping over their pain, pretending it wasn't there, trying to keep going. Yet when they were embraced by the safe and nurturing love you provided, they finally allowed themselves to face those wounds. It was as if you opened a Pandora's box within their heart, a box filled with emotions they had never dared to confront. And you did it with love. But that very act was an essential part of their healing journey. It marks a pivotal turning point, something absolutely necessary for them to truly experience happiness, especially if they wish to step into a healthy and lasting relationship with you. Without going through this process, even if they were to be with you, the happiness between you would always be blocked by the pain they had never released. For those of you who haven't yet formed a deep bond with this person, it's possible that right now they are carrying far too much on their shoulders. They may be under pressure from many directions: work, family, responsibilities, or even from efforts they've made for your sake that haven't turned out the way they'd hoped. Perhaps they did something with good intentions, hoping to make you happy, but it unintentionally backfired. This person has a genuinely kind heart. They're thoughtful, generous, and carry a spirit of compassion, a true giver. Whether male or female, they possess a deeply protective emotional energy. Yet it seems they have been hurt before, perhaps taken advantage of or betrayed. They gave love, but it wasn't returned in a fair or balanced way. Over time, this may have led them to feel alone in their own world. And now you, through your sincere and genuine care, are filling that emptiness. That's why they don't want to lose you. You are someone they cannot let go of, someone they truly want to keep close. So right now, even if you don't realize it, they are trying very hard to meet your expectations, to bring you happiness. But sometimes, in wanting to give you everything good, they end up exhausting themselves. Their efforts aren't born out of any pressure you've placed on them, but because you matter so deeply to them, they've created that pressure for themselves, just to feel worthy of you. Even so, this seems to be an inherent part of who they are, a genuinely kind person, not just toward you but toward everyone around them. This doesn't imply that they're flirtatious or unfaithful in any way. Rather, it simply means they are gentle and emotionally sensitive in their social interactions. Because of this, there may be moments when you feel they're a little too diplomatic, too well-mannered with others, which might make you wonder, are they this sweet to everyone, just like they are with me? That slight feeling of insecurity may arise. But in truth, this person deeply understands people. They're empathetic by nature and always strive to make others feel seen, respected, and valued. However, the most striking energy that lingers around them is this: they feel profoundly lonely and sad without you. And this isn't a fleeting sadness, it's a deep sense of emptiness, a real and painful ache within their heart. A heavy gloom settles over them when you're not around. Even if the two of you are still together, whenever you're physically apart, they fall into a very low emotional state. The Universe card appears once again, reaffirming that this person is keenly aware of the distance between the two of you, both physically and emotionally. It's as though something stands between you, something they can't seem to overcome. Perhaps they themselves don't fully understand what you're feeling. Even though you may be trying to show your love clearly, the card suggests that there's still a chance you haven't yet fully expressed what's deep in your heart. For example, when a date is canceled and you feel truly sad because you were looking forward to seeing them, instead of saying, "I'm sad we won't get to meet," you might end up expressing it through frustration or reproach, like you never keep your promises, or am I not important to you anymore? It may not be what you truly want to say, but somehow you're unable to express your real emotions clearly, and this could be one of the reasons why misunderstandings arise between the two of you. While this might not apply to everyone, some of you may find yourselves in exactly this situation. The appearance of the Knight of Swords in reverse brings a message of reflection and gentle advice. Despite being in a state of confusion, turmoil, or emotional pain, your person still deeply wants to see you, to come to you without hesitation. Even if they feel rejected by you, they still want to face you, still want to reach out, even if it risks more hurt. This powerful emotion makes them feel willing to throw themselves toward you, as if to say, "Even if I'm turned away, I still want to be near you." This card carries the energy of someone who is ready to take the plunge no matter the cost, as if they would risk everything, leave behind all attachments, just to run to you. And yet, when they stop and think about the possible consequences of doing so, they hesitate. Their heart pulls them toward you, but their mind drags them back into a spiral of doubt and inner conflict they can't seem to escape. Even so, the overwhelming feeling is that this is like a one-person play unfolding within them, a private emotional struggle only they can fully see. As for you, you've only been able to glimpse fragments of their sorrow, their loneliness, the shadow in their heart, like that black feather you keep noticing, because it represents the part of their emotions they've never once put into words. If only they could lay everything bare in front of you, if only they could place all that they carry in their heart out on the table, then maybe you wouldn't have to feel so torn, so uncertain, or left guessing anymore. All you've ever truly wanted is to hear the truth from them. You've longed for that moment. Now, let's go deeper into the true emotional layers they hold for you, their thoughts about the future between you two. And then, the Soulmate card appears. This is the confirmation. It's no surprise that they've been in such inner conflict, because this love is not simple, because between you and them exists a sacred bond. You are their soulmate. We've already seen the appearance of the Two of Cups, the lovers, and now soulmate, a perfect trio in any love reading. You and this person are the ideal pair, a perfect match. The two of you complement each other, blend with one another in the most natural and harmonious way. With you, they feel whole. With you, they feel like they can truly be themselves. And they know, deep down, they cannot let you go. The card also makes it clear that it is your person who is more deeply enamored, more captivated by you than you might realize. Regardless of whether they are male or female, the image shows someone profoundly drawn to you. They love you so much that, at times, they are completely swayed by their emotions. Even your words can make them anxious, overjoyed, or deeply hurt. You may not know that some of the things you've said, spoken without any intent to cause pain, have left them thinking for a long time. And it's not your fault. You speak with care, out of love and consideration, but because they already carry insecurities within themselves, they sometimes misinterpret your words as criticism or disappointment. Deep down, it seems that this person holds a lingering belief that they are not worthy of you. They're afraid that they cannot give you what you truly need, and that fear fuels their unease in this relationship. Yet no one else could be more perfectly matched for them than you. That's the message the cards are emphasizing. This person knows that no one else in the world could ever replace you. They feel that you are their other half, their soulmate, their twin flame, the one who makes them feel whole. Without you, they genuinely feel lost, to the point that others around them might even start to worry. So then, how can this person free themselves from the turmoil in their mind? How can they move past the confusion and inner chaos? Fortunately, the cards reveal that a light of hope is gradually beginning to shine through. The relationship between you and this person is set to grow clearer and more positive over time. The key may lie within them. They are the one who needs to take action, to make a decision that will break the cycle they're currently trapped in. And when I asked what sign would mark a turning point for both of you, a strong feeling emerged. This person will be inspired or guided at just the right moment by someone. It could be you, a friend of theirs, or even an unexpected event. For instance, if the two of you aren't currently seeing each other, They might suddenly decide to come see you, and that moment would mark the beginning of a new chapter filled with renewed hope. The Seven of Swords appears. Ordinarily, this card carries heavy meanings: deception, secrecy, avoidance. But in this reading, the imagery it presents offers a very different feeling. It shows two people sitting together in a vehicle, and one of them holding a bouquet of lily of the valley, a flower symbolizing hope and renewal. This visual shifts the energy of the card completely. Instead of dishonesty or distance, it speaks of quiet reconciliation, a gentle return, the desire to come closer again without needing grand gestures or dramatic declarations. Just a quiet, sincere moment, offering peace, offering something real. I sense something truly special here, as if the two of you, even without speaking, are silently thinking the same thing. The emotions you both have been hiding are, in fact, deeply aligned. You share the same longing, the same unspoken ache, but neither of you has dared to say it out loud. In this context, the card no longer represents secrecy in a negative light. Instead, it becomes a symbol of silent resonance, a spiritual connection. When two people come to realize, so this is what we've both been feeling all along, that's the moment when the door to true connection begins to open. And though this might sound intense, I feel an even deeper layer of meaning here. This person is willing to break through something, perhaps even cross a line of moral code or social taboo, just to hold on to you. As if there's something they know they shouldn't do, but the pull toward you is stronger than any restriction. You are too important. You are the one thing they can't bear to lose, even if it means paying a price. It turns out that both of you are carrying the same emotions. And once that realization dawns, even if it means being judged by others, even if it means betraying someone, your person still wants to hold on to this love until the very end. In a way, this card represents a kind of feeling that logic says shouldn't exist, a feeling that people often say must not be nurtured. But this person, as I sense so clearly, is someone deeply serious. They live with integrity, with principles, always treating others with kindness and respect. That's why, for them to betray someone or to cause harm in any way is something they would never normally be capable of. However, the emergence of these forbidden emotions is not a negative thing. In fact, it is a powerful testament to how deeply they feel. It's a sign that they are slowly coming to accept the truth, that even if it means crossing moral lines, even if it goes against what is deemed right or wrong, they still long to be by your side. Whether or not they will act on these feelings is another matter, but the very fact that they've allowed themselves to admit, even silently, I want to claim you even if you belong to someone else, or I want to hold on to you at any cost, even if it means lying, is already a tremendous emotional leap. It's like those days when you're physically fine but feel empty inside, so you call in sick to school or work just because you wish someone would notice, someone would care. That's what your person feels, too. On the surface, they may seem okay, still strong, still composed, but deep down, what they really want to say is, I'm tired. I need you. And it's simply because they want more of your attention, more of your care. Ultimately, this is a phase where your person is gradually becoming more honest with their emotions. They're learning how to stop running away from what they feel. And perhaps you're experiencing something similar. The two of you are beginning to realize you can't keep suppressing these feelings any longer. Both you and your person have tried to forbid yourselves from falling deeper into this connection. You've told yourselves, no, this is wrong, or I shouldn't feel this way, or if I fall any deeper and we end up parting, the pain will be unbearable. But the cards continue to show that the two of you are a perfect match, so this love will not easily be silenced by ideas of what should or shouldn't be. And eventually, both of you will have to face the truth in your hearts. That's why, if this person sees you as someone akin to a family member, as deeply cherished as a parent or a part of their own soul, the fear of losing you is immense. It's this fear that makes them hesitate, that holds them back from taking the next step. And so, what truly matters is that they become honest with that feeling, that they acknowledge their fear instead of continuing to avoid it. I can feel so clearly that this person is genuinely good, and that's exactly why the emotional struggle within them is so intense. It's not that their darker feelings are wrong. Having negative emotions isn't inherently bad. What matters is how a person chooses to face them. Therefore, the love they feel for you, and the possible consequences that may come with it, such as hurting someone else or creating a difficult situation, must be looked at with clarity. And in truth, in the future, this person will begin to face those very things, one step at a time. What can you do to help this person move through all of this? The card suggests that the best thing you can do is to remain light, simple, and not get swept up in the chaos of their emotions. You don't need to overthink or carry the weight of it all. Just hold onto your own clarity and sincerity in love. Even if they are confused, torn, and emotionally overwhelmed, you only need to stay grounded in one clear truth within your heart. If you love, then love. Regardless of the challenges or barriers, ask yourself whether those obstacles are truly real, or are they simply complications born from their own personality and fears. And if those complications stem from their inner tendencies, such as overthinking, hypersensitivity, or being too easily affected, then perhaps that is the real barrier between the two of you. Still, the most important guidance here is this. Do not allow yourself to be pulled into their emotional spiral. Don't let your soul be burdened by their confusion. Keep your energy light, clear, and calm. That very clarity will become a guiding light, not just for you, but for them as well. It will help them feel safe, and little by little, they'll find the courage to untangle what's been weighing on their heart. The Star card appears in reverse, signaling that something may be causing both of you to feel discouraged or to lose hope when looking toward this relationship. It's as if there's an invisible force pulling you away from the idealistic, hopeful heart space that true love often requires. This may stem from overthinking, particularly on your person's part, which is preventing them from taking action. The card also implies that there are very real, practical issues standing between the two of you. Each of you may be in different circumstances, different stages of life, or distinct social positions, making it difficult to express love in a sincere and uncomplicated way. It could be a geographical distance or some kind of barrier, physical, emotional, or societal, that creates the sense that moving forward in the relationship is hard or even impossible. However, when we look back at the earlier appearance of the Fool, it reminds us of something important. The two of you stepped into this connection not because everything was aligned or easy, but because you couldn't help yourselves. You didn't hesitate, you didn't overthink. You simply followed your hearts. And that, in itself, is something beautiful. Despite the obstacles, the two of you still chose love. So, in the midst of all this, what should you hold on to above all else? The answer is to remain honest with your own emotions. No matter what challenges arise, stay true to your heart. Don't deny what you genuinely feel. And, if possible, share those feelings with them in the simplest way. A few gentle words like "I care about you" or "I think of you," that alone is enough. You don't need to rescue them or carry the weight of their inner struggles. This person, it seems, often tends to immerse themselves in their own thoughts. They may be someone who likes to reflect, to process everything alone, and at times, they even find comfort in dwelling within those emotional depths. The card Violet rarely appears in a soft, mystical shade of purple, the color of mystery, of spiritual realms, and the unseen. Looking at the imagery of this card, one can almost feel the loneliness emanating from them. This is someone with a deeply introspective nature, and they may be quite accustomed to quietly thinking, feeling, and struggling within the silence of their own world. It is precisely during these periods of distance and absence that your person comes to a profound realization. They deeply long for a spiritual connection with you, something that goes beyond physical closeness or shared time. They want to be connected to you by an invisible thread, something deeper than anything else, a form of trust, a quiet knowing that no matter how far apart you are, you'll still be there, still thinking of them, and still believing in this relationship. In their heart, more than anything, they just want you to place your trust in them so that this love becomes more than mere presence. It becomes a bond that touches the deepest layer of the soul. This time apart might hold great meaning for them. Even the moments when they miss you, when they feel the ache of not being able to see you, those moments are part of what makes them feel their love for you even more strongly. Despite all the chaos and inner conflict, it seems they actually find something quietly beautiful in those emotions. In a way, they're savoring it all. The longing, the confusion, the ache, as if it is an essential and beautiful part of what it means to love. That's why you don't need to intervene too much in their inner world. Don't let yourself get swept away by the waves of emotion rising and falling within them. Because when you become too affected, you'll start to feel heavy and exhausted. For them, the current obstacles, the time apart, these may have unintentionally become the very ingredients that make this love feel deeper and more meaningful. The guidance for you right now is this. Lean into communication. Open your heart. Instead of guessing or letting your thoughts spiral too far ahead, the most important thing is to ask, to share directly with each other. In previous readings as well, there have been signs of misalignment in communication between the two of you, something that can easily give rise to misunderstandings and emotional tension. So when you feel something, instead of reacting too quickly or placing blame, pause and ask. Clarify things with them. Both you and your person may be caught in a state of interpreting things through imagination, and that can very easily lead to misunderstandings. That's why it's important to be more mindful about clarifying your true feelings and thoughts on both sides. For those of you who are currently out of contact with this person, the advice is, take this time to have a conversation with yourself. Ask your heart, what am I truly feeling? What do I really want? With a soul connection as deep as this one, when you listen to yourself and engage in inner dialogue, you're also connecting with them on an invisible level. Every vibration you generate within your own spirit can be felt by them. The more honest you are with yourself, the more deeply they can sense you through the soul-level bond you share. So understand that when you're speaking to yourself, you're also speaking to them. Try viewing it this way, that your connection with them is not limited to what can be seen or touched. Have you ever thought, why do they overthink so much? It doesn't need to be this complicated. It seems they are constantly overanalyzing everything. They blame themselves, question themselves endlessly. This love is awakening parts of them they've never looked at before, inner dimensions they had kept hidden, even from themselves. Looking at the cards, it's clear that this person is, perhaps for the first time, facing a part of themselves that even they are unfamiliar with, and that makes them feel confused, unsure of what to do. Even so, the outlook for the future brings a great deal of hope. So now, let's take a closer look at how the path ahead may unfold for the two of you. The gift and ring cards appear. Yes, it's drawing near. It feels like a confirmation from the universe itself. This person, despite all the endless thoughts, despite the internal spirals, will eventually come to a point where they stop tormenting themselves. The card feels as if it's saying, that's enough. No more self-blame. The Knight of Pentacles appears in reverse, indicating that this process won't be quick. It will take time. But what matters most is that a beginning will come. And then, the star returns, this time in the upright position. Earlier, when we asked about the obstacles in your relationship, the star appeared reversed, a sign of discouragement or doubt. But now it has returned to its true place, representing hope and the fulfillment of heartfelt wishes. This card is the affirmation. The difficulties of the past will be overcome. The doubt, the uncertainty, the distance, the silence. All of it will give way to light and hope. What lies ahead for the two of you? It's possible that your person will still hesitate, still resist, still need time, but not because they don't want this. It's simply because that's who they are at their core. You likely already know this. You've come to understand them well enough to wait without doubt. And, in the end, they will choose you. No matter how long it takes, they will walk toward you, with a heart finally brave enough to love without fear. They are fully capable of choosing a future with you, and more than that, they will choose it with genuine hope. And what awaits you both in the future? The gift card appears alongside the ring, a clear symbol of commitment, of marriage, or a solid, enduring partnership. This is the card of manifestation, meaning the relationship will take on a concrete, tangible form. Whether it's getting married, moving in together as a couple, meeting each other's families, or planning for a child, everything points toward a very real, very grounded step forward. And because the star, the wish card, has now appeared upright, it affirms all the more clearly that your dream is becoming reality. The barriers that once stood between you, whether they were circumstantial, emotional, or silent, will be resolved. That's why the two of you will be able to move forward together. It may take time, but your person will eventually make a real decision. They will say, I'm ready. I'm staying. And from that moment on, your relationship will begin to shift, becoming more stable, more defined, guided by purpose and nurtured by trust. Even so, this journey may not unfold quickly. Your person is cautious by nature and sometimes a bit passive. That's why you may need to take a gentle initiative, not by applying pressure or forcing anything, but through a simple, clear, and heartfelt approach. For example, you might say something light like, you feel happy when we're together, don't you? Then let's just be together. A simple sentence like that might be enough to open their heart. Because sometimes, what they need isn't a perfect plan or a grand promise, but a quiet certainty from you. That love is enough, that being together brings joy. And then, everything will begin to change, step by step, in a beautiful direction. That's why the most important thing is for you to stay pure and sincere in how you express your love, through communication that comes from the heart. Don't lose yourself in overthinking or in trying too hard to accommodate them. Don't make decisions just to keep them comfortable. Instead, listen to your own heart. What do you truly want? Act from that space. Speak from that space. Let it come from within you, gently, clearly, and honestly. I've heard many stories from friends, people who are now married, who shared that, in the end, they were the ones who spoke up. So many women have gone through the experience of waiting for a proposal, waiting for their partner to make a decision. But eventually, they said it clearly. If you still haven't decided by now, I will walk away. Or simply, being with me makes you happy, right? Then let's be together. That kind of clarity, directness, and simplicity is often what gives a man the courage to act decisively. Sometimes, when we love someone deeply, we hesitate to speak our truth. We're afraid that saying it might lead to rejection or pain. This is true for both men and women, because when we're in love, we all become vulnerable. But in reality, honest and straightforward communication is the most powerful way to bridge two hearts. That kind of truth can become the light that helps your person break free from their inner doubts. Because right now, they feel the depth of this connection so intensely that it's what makes them hesitate. They fear that if they take the next step, there'll be no turning back. So when you are able to express something as simple as, I want to be with you, or I believe we'll be happy if we're together, that may be the very thing that releases them from their confusion. And from that moment on, the future can begin to shift in the most gentle yet solid way. That's why it's important not to be too timid or overly accommodating. The outcome of this reading truly surprised me. From a journey filled with confusion and emotional struggle, everything now seems to be gently leading toward a future far brighter than expected. Reflecting on stories my friends have shared, I realize how true this is. Relationships that are nurtured with time are often the most lasting and meaningful. So, give them a little more time. But if you find yourself waiting too long, and that waiting begins to hurt, don't be afraid to speak up. For those of you who aren't officially in a relationship yet, you might feel the need to say something like, if you're not serious about this, maybe we shouldn't keep meeting, because seeing each other without clarity only causes me more pain. And sometimes, just by saying that, they may act right away. But that doesn't mean you need to chase them or try to hold on desperately. Not at all. All you need to do is stay true to your own heart. Be honest with your emotions and have the courage to speak them clearly. That's all you ever need to do. And when both of you have made a mutual commitment, when your souls have connected at the deepest level, there's no doubt that you will become each other's safest haven. You and your person are the ones who make the other feel truly at home, free to be your most genuine, pure, and whole selves. It's beautiful. Truly romantic. This person loves you deeply. And throughout this time of distance, the only thing they've truly been thinking about is you. They miss you. They long to see you. They feel a powerful pull toward you, and they sense such a deep bond that they envision a shared life with you, a lasting connection, like marriage or something equally permanent. It's precisely because they feel this so strongly that they've been overthinking everything. They're afraid that loving you might hurt someone else, or that it could lead to something complicated or painful. And that fear is what's causing their internal struggle. But perhaps when someone discovers true love, it's only natural to fall into moments of confusion, fear, and inner conflict. It means the love is real. The fact that the star card, representing hope and wishes, appeared twice in this reading is truly something magical. It's a clear sign that the love between you and this person is not just a fleeting emotion, but a spiritual connection, a future being guided and protected by the universe itself. If you cherish and remember the guidance shared here, your relationship will surely continue to grow stronger and more grounded. Moreover, the reading clearly shows that the two of you are walking together toward a future that is bright and full of promise. This may very well be what your person desires and longs for the most, a future filled with hope by your side. I'll end the reading for those who chose pile 1 here. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and show your support by liking the video. Your encouragement is a powerful motivation for me to keep creating new and meaningful content. If something in this reading touched your heart, I would love for you to leave a comment or even a small symbol to let me know that the message resonated with you. I always look forward to reading your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to share. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I'll see you again in the next reading.
Hello to those of you who chose pile 2.
Thank you for your patience. Now, I'll begin the reading for those who selected the second pile. I hope this reading brings you healing, new understanding, and moments filled with love. Today's topic is, during this time apart, when the two of you are not seeing each other, what is your person thinking and feeling? The first card that appears is the Empress. Now, let's take a closer look at the rest of the cards that have come through. In the current position, we see the King of Swords. And the first thing I sense from this card is that there seems to be a certain level of cautious observation between the two of you, as if both are maintaining a safe distance, not quite ready to fully express your true feelings. It feels as though there is a lack of open-hearted communication between both you and your person, not out of deceit or ill intention, but rather a sense of reservation. Each of you seems to be waiting to see what the other will do or say before deciding what to reveal and what to hold back. Whether the two of you are not yet officially in a relationship or have been together for a while, the overall feeling is one of holding back, of being carefully composed in one another's presence. This feeling doesn't stem from conflict or misunderstanding. It's more like both of you are trying to stay composed, hiding your true emotions. The imagery of the mask on the card also hints at this. Perhaps both of you are the type who don't easily let others see what lies deep within. It may be a matter of personality, or it could be the result of past emotional wounds. In the position of the past, the Four of Pentacles appears in reverse, further reinforcing the sense that both of you have been in a defensive state, holding tightly to your emotions and unwilling to easily lower your guard. This may be a relationship that has developed slowly, possibly even felt stagnant at times, due to the mutual hesitancy coming from both sides. There may have been moments when you felt like you understood them, sensed that they had feelings for you too, but then the very next day, their attitude shifted abruptly. They suddenly became cold, cut off communication, or messaged with a distant, indifferent tone, as if all the warmth and connection you had just shared had vanished. You might have even thought the relationship was progressing well, only to find that they reverted to treating you like a friend, leaving you confused and unsure about what had changed. All of this points to one thing. There are invisible barriers between the two of you. Each person has their own limits, boundaries they find difficult to cross. And it's exactly these barriers that are preventing the relationship from moving forward in a clear, stable way. What both of you may truly need is this: the courage to step out of your comfort zones and the willingness to communicate with one another from a place of genuine, heartfelt honesty. Only then can what's been blocked begin to open and shift. Could this be the key? In the final outcome position, the card representing wish fulfillment appears, but it's in reverse. This card shows that your shared dream absolutely has the potential to become reality, but there's a condition. Both of you must be honest with your feelings. Without that, even if your wish does come true, it won't bring the kind of deep, lasting happiness you're hoping for. I apologize if this sounds a little direct, but what I feel very strongly is this. Yes, what you've been wishing for is possible. But if the two of you continue to hide what's truly in your hearts, then when it finally happens, you may find yourself wondering, is this really what I wanted? Is this truly happiness? In the future position, some truly beautiful cards have appeared, symbols of harmony and deep emotional resonance, indicating that the two of you do, in fact, share a powerful soul-level connection. But then, the final card arrives with a gentle warning. If you truly want lasting happiness, a shift must occur. The Wheel of Fortune comes forward as a message that the time for change has arrived, a change in how you both approach this relationship, in how you express your emotions, in how you listen and open yourselves to one another. Without change, the current loop may continue, marked by caution, unspoken distance, and an invisible wall that neither of you fully names. The Empress also appears, representing that both you and your person are strong, loving, and grounded individuals, each with your own intrinsic value. Not in a negative sense, but it's likely that both of you carry a certain sense of self, an ego, perhaps, that you may not even fully recognize, especially because you've both been trying so hard to harmonize and accommodate each other. And yet, here's the beauty of it. The Empress embodies deep love, nurturing energy, and fulfillment. At the same time, you are both people with rich, independent lives, loved and appreciated by others, held in high regard in your own right. It's like a relationship between two stars. Each of you already carries your own light, your own universe. And so, connecting doesn't mean dissolving into one another. It means learning to adjust so that your worlds can meet, overlap, and resonate without erasing one another. What truly matters here is learning how to yield, to understand one another, to accept each other's imperfections, and to work together toward harmony. When that happens, the shared wish between the two of you doesn't just come true, it brings real joy, deep fulfillment, and the freedom to be your authentic selves in love. Because there's such a strong pull between you, there may be a part, perhaps even unconsciously, within each of you that's weighing the pros and cons, what you gain and what you might have to sacrifice. When a relationship causes you to think in terms of value, it often means that the connection brings something truly meaningful to your life. And when something carries that much meaning, the idea of losing it naturally stirs hesitation and caution. The card speaks clearly. The key is honesty. Speak from love, and speak the truth. This could be a mature relationship, a love between two people who already have clarity about the path they wish to walk in life. For example, maybe you've thought that if you were with this person, your career might flourish, you'd feel more motivated, or simply that they'd inspire you with their energy and presence. And there's nothing wrong with that, because love, at its core, is about uplifting one another. It's a shared inspiration that helps both people grow and become better each day. The Empress, a symbol of love and abundance, once again confirms the presence of a deeply positive connection between you and this person. This is the kind of relationship where both of you have the power to elevate each other's lives. Each person becomes a source of strength for the other, creating a dynamic of mutual support and resonance. And perhaps because of that, logic has sometimes taken the lead over emotion. It's possible that you or your person are being drawn to the tangible aspects of the other. Stability, success, beauty, the sense of security, to the point where those visible traits have overshadowed the deeper, more genuine emotions. It feels as though you're both captivated by what is visible on the surface, more than what is quietly shifting within the heart. The feelings may not yet have reached the deeper layers, or if they have, they haven't been expressed in their purest form. However, this doesn't mean the relationship is superficial. Quite the opposite. You and your person are standing at the threshold of a love that has the potential to grow into something powerful and enduring. But that growth can only happen if you both dare to set aside overthinking, dare to be honest with your feelings, and dare to speak openly, with sincerity, without defense. The love between you and this person holds tremendous potential for a beautiful union, one that is not only emotional, but also supportive, a source of energy and growth for both of you. But for this connection to evolve into a true, deep, and lasting love, the most essential ingredient is this: honesty, clarity, and the willingness to journey into the deeper layers of the heart. Elements like appearance, style, fashion, what they possess, the home they live in, the work they do, all these external aspects seem to hold a certain allure. Even for couples who have been together for a long time, these outer traits might still be what draws them to each other. That's why now is the time for you to take one more step, just a little deeper. There's a very strong feeling here, a gentle but persistent invitation. It's time to enter the deeper levels of connection. Because the theme of this reading is, what is your person thinking about when you're apart? I'm about to explore more deeply into that inner space. The initial sense is very clear. The two of you are on the path toward a more soulful connection, a bond that is forming and growing at the soul level. That's why I feel that many of you who chose this pile may still be in the early stages of getting to know each other, or perhaps you haven't officially entered a relationship yet. And if that's the case, then what I see in the final outcome is entirely possible. You absolutely have the ability to guide this connection toward a brighter place, where wishes and hopes can become reality. Now, let's take a deeper look into how your person truly feels about you. And then the card that appears is true love. This is a love that comes from deep within, not from the surface, not based on appearances or external charm. This person feels you with their heart, not just as attraction, but as a genuine, inexplicable soul-level connection. Their emotions arise from within, from a tender, vulnerable space in their spirit that defies logic. However, I also clearly sense that right now your person is in a somewhat disoriented state. Not just when it comes to love, but in other areas of life as well, perhaps their work, their personal goals, or things they've been trying to accomplish. They seem to be lacking motivation and inspiration, as if they've slipped into a state of resignation or indifference, not because they've stopped loving you, but because something within them feels depleted, out of energy. That's why the arrival of true love you could become a new source of motivation, a light that warms their cooling heart. But for this love to truly reach one another's soul, both of you need the courage to move beyond appearances, beyond fear, and step into real emotion, where only sincerity, trust, and deep connection exist. This absolutely does not mean that your person has lost interest or affection for you, because the true love card has shown up with unmistakable clarity. They are still in love. They still hold within them a genuine and heartfelt emotion for you. However, there are external factors currently influencing their emotional state. Both the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Cups have appeared in reverse, indicating that what they had hoped for has not gone as expected. It feels like a sense of disappointment, anticipating something positive to unfold, only to end up disheartened by how things turned out. For example, your person may have hoped that you would respond in a certain way, perhaps with more intensity, more initiative, or by expressing your feelings in a way they had secretly wished for. But when that didn't happen, they felt let down. Not because you did anything wrong, but because their expectations weren't met in the way they had imagined. The feeling is something like, I was hoping you would come closer, but you didn't. And now I feel sad, a little disappointed. It could also be that things in their personal life are weighing heavily on them. Their work may not be going well, a personal plan may have fallen apart, or something they were striving for may have unexpectedly failed. As a result, they've carried that emotional burden with them, slowly becoming more withdrawn. Perhaps they feel ashamed, unwilling to speak up, or simply believe they're not in a good enough place to show up in front of you as they are. Whether it's about love or other areas of life, your person may currently be feeling a sense of loss, disappointment, and emotional withdrawal. In that state, it's easy for them to fall into silence, to stop sharing, or to create distance. Not because their feelings for you have faded, but because they don't yet know how to face the disappointment or shame they're carrying inside. So, if you sense that they're being distant, cold, or unresponsive, try to understand that it doesn't reflect your worth. It may simply be that they're facing something that's making it hard for them to open up in the way they normally would. Maybe they need time. Maybe they're waiting for you to come just a little bit closer. But above all, their feelings for you are still there. They're just covered by a temporary cloud of emotional fog. Right now, your person is likely dealing with a personal issue, possibly related to work or a responsibility weighing on them, and that's why they don't have the emotional energy or motivation to fully move toward you in love at this moment. Especially if your person is a man, it's important to understand that the male brain often struggles to process work and love at the same time. So if he's currently under real-life pressure, he simply may not have the emotional bandwidth for romance. Even showing gentleness toward you might feel difficult right now. So, during this time apart, when the two of you are not seeing each other, what is he thinking? The answer is he loves you. He truly sees you as his true love, there's no doubt about that. However, this is also someone who holds very high standards, not only for you, but for himself and for those around him as well. It seems that he is quietly weighing the pros and cons of this relationship. Not out of calculation, but because he understands that if something, anything, brings negative energy into his life, even if it's someone he loves, he won't be able to maintain his inner balance. That's why, if you happen to bring feelings that feel heavy to him, like blame, pressure, or overwhelming expectations, it may cause him to question the relationship, even though the love is still there. In truth, this person is someone who lives with great passion. Even if they seem quiet or emotionally withdrawn right now, deep inside, they're full of fire and enthusiasm for life. And because they have strong ambitions, they don't allow themselves to drift or live passively. They may already be successful, or they might be carrying significant responsibilities on their shoulders. Because of this, they also expect their partner to be someone equally strong and capable, both emotionally and in how they navigate life. This is not someone who enters love-seeking dependency. Rather, they desire a relationship where both people stand firm, side by side, on equal footing, moving forward together. And perhaps, through them, you've been introduced to a whole new world, going places you've never been, experiencing things you never imagined. And you deserve that. You're a match for this person. Because if your frequencies weren't aligned, the two of you would never have crossed paths. However, as I mentioned earlier, both you and your person have rich, powerful inner worlds. That in itself is beautiful, but at times, it also makes it difficult for you to accept certain aspects of them. The high expectations, the perfectionism, the presence of a strong ego. It's possible that both you and your person are the kind of people who find it difficult to open up, not easily allowing others into the deepest parts of your inner world. And yet, strangely enough, the two of you can open up to each other, something that rarely happens with anyone else. That alone is the sign of a special connection, one that feels destined. And all you need to do is stay true to yourself, remain sincere, don't lose who you are, and at the same time, learn to accept your differences. Because sometimes, it's not similarity that brings people closer, but rather the differences, when they're understood and respected, that create a bond stronger than anything else. I can clearly feel that there is a very unique harmony between you, an exceptional kind of soul connection. Though both of you carry powerful energies, it's exactly that strength that makes this story so compelling. Now, let's take a deeper look into your emotions, because it seems the real question here is, whose feelings will be heard first? Who will be the one to take a step back? Who will choose to express their heart first? Even so, the card reveals that this is a process of harmonious alignment, meaning that the eventual outcome will be a relationship in which both of you feel it is fair, fulfilling, and well-balanced. No one has to lose themselves. No one has to be diminished. So you can truly rest assured. And then, the Soulmate card appears. A powerful affirmation that the love between you is real, is deep, and is destined. The two of you are in love. This is not one-sided. Both of you feel it. Both of you carry strong emotions for each other. So then, why haven't you expressed how you feel? Why are you still holding it in? If you're someone who has already been honest, who has spoken from the heart, then perhaps this message isn't meant for you. But if there's still something left unspoken in your heart, then this, right here, is your answer. The Moon card appears, a symbol of insecurity, concealment, and nameless fears. It seems you're lacking a bit of confidence, not in your appearance or abilities, but in something more delicate, a quiet uncertainty about whether you're truly loved, whether you're really the one they've been waiting for. You might also be someone with an introspective nature, someone who tends to keep their emotions private, like a queen who carries herself with quiet pride. This card, radiating feminine energy, suggests that you're someone who wants to be received, someone who longs for the other person to take the first step. You don't like being the one to speak first because to you, their approach, their effort is the proof of love. It's as though you're softly whispering to yourself, why should I be the one to say it first? If he truly loves me, shouldn't he be the one to express it first? It's not a game. It's not that you don't love them. It's just that you want to feel chosen, cherished, pursued. And that is not wrong. You are a queen. And holding your pride, standing your ground, that's not a flaw. It's something deeply worthy of respect. However, love sometimes calls for clarity. If you want your person to truly understand your heart, it may take nothing more than a gentle gesture, a brief touch, a glance, a simple word. That alone could be the key to unlocking their heart. You don't have to give up your queenly grace. You only need to softly show them. This door is still open. And when they see that, they'll step through it with their whole heart. Perhaps, deep down, you've thought to yourself, why should I be the one to take the initiative? Or, why can't they just understand without me having to say it? And that feeling is completely valid. You may be the kind of person who doesn't want to express too much emotion outwardly because for you, keeping things private, holding back your feelings is its own kind of beauty, a personal principle, even an aesthetic. Holding your love in doesn't mean you don't feel it. Sometimes it simply means you think, I shouldn't have to say it. If he truly feels it, he'll just know. Or maybe once upon a time, you spoke from the heart and were met with indifference, coldness, or even pain. And now, because of that experience, you hesitate. You've become more cautious, more guarded when it comes to revealing your true emotions. Or, in some special cases, this could be a relationship with obstacles. You can't speak out because it's something that cannot be made public or is difficult to express, making you wonder whether you should even tell the other person. But on a deeper level, this feeling might stem from some form of insecurity within you, a feeling that asks, does this person truly understand me? Will they accept me? Another important point to note is that you might secretly desire to be pursued. Unconsciously, you want the other person to come toward you, to take the initiative, to express their love clearly. This isn't weakness. It's a desire to feel valued, to be loved in a clear and decisive way. On the other hand, I also sense that you are a very busy person, with many things in your personal life demanding your attention. You may be focusing on work, on projects, or on your journey of personal growth. Therefore, you don't feel too needy in this relationship. You might think, it's okay if we don't meet. Each of us can just focus on our own work. Maybe it's even better this way. But this can only happen when you feel the connection is deep enough. And I believe you're sensing that. It's because you feel that soul-level bond that you can let them go during this time, with peace of mind. In short, you truly feel something very special from this person. But there are many reasons, ranging from personality, past experiences, to personal philosophies, that make it difficult for you to express your emotions openly. And the reason you don't speak isn't because you're indifferent, but because this is how you love, a deep, proud, and quietly preserved love. Furthermore, for some of you, if this is a relationship with a secretive aspect, even if it's not necessarily an affair, there may still be barriers that make it difficult for you to express your true feelings. For example, if the person is involved in another relationship, has a partner, or is in a situation that cannot be made public, you might feel that, I shouldn't say I love them, I shouldn't express too much. You don't want to make them feel uncomfortable or put them in a difficult situation. So, even though you love deeply in your heart, you still hold back, choosing to keep your feelings safe and enjoying the relationship in moderation, without demanding too much or crossing boundaries. It's like you're pressing the brakes, not allowing yourself to go into an overly emotional state, even though you know how genuine your feelings truly are. And I understand that. It's not that you don't love, but because you are thinking about what's best for both of you. However, when I look at the symbol of the butterfly, I can clearly feel that your person is truly longing for something from you. The question isn't just about where they want this relationship to go, but also, what do they want you to become in this relationship? It feels like they're not only looking toward the future between you two, but they're also expecting you to become a certain version of yourself, in the way they envision it. Perhaps they want you to be more expressive, more proactive, gentler, stronger, or simply to have the courage to show more of yourself. So, before we answer the question of what they want from this relationship, let's listen to what they truly desire from you. And then I sense that the reason the wishing card appeared in reverse might be because you've been tending to accommodate them too much. You might be thinking, if I just yield, if I don't ask for too much, if I stay quiet, then this love will flow more smoothly, it will be easier. But by doing this, you might be losing the opportunity to live authentically with your own emotions. Instead of letting this love become a journey where you constantly adjust yourself to fit the other person, the message here is, you need to express what you truly want. Even if that makes you worry about whether you're being selfish or whether you're imposing too much, understand that a healthy relationship is not about silent sacrifice, but about both people expressing their true feelings and working together to make each other's dreams come true. Therefore, the final outcome, quite clearly, is guiding you toward the need to speak up about your desires. Be honest about what you need. Clarify your expectations, and don't think that you have to bend over backward just to keep the other person. Only when you are clear with yourself can they truly listen, understand you, and from there, both of you can create a fulfilling relationship, not just from their side, but from yours as well. From your perspective, expressing your true desires might make you feel like you're being selfish, asking for too much, or perhaps being a bit insensitive toward the other person. You might fear that it will put pressure on them or make them uncomfortable, so you choose silence, patience, or temporarily settling for things that aren't really what you most hope for. However, when I look at the overall message of this reading, one thing stands out very clearly. It's time for you to be honest with yourself. Don't betray the true feelings in your heart just because you're afraid of upsetting someone else. Don't package your own desires just to become the ideal partner in someone else's eyes. Ask yourself sincerely, what do I truly want? And then have the courage to put it on the table as an essential part of a serious, mature love journey. As I mentioned earlier, the dreams between you and your person can absolutely come true. But if you continue to accommodate the circumstances, hiding your feelings, the dream you achieve won't be your true dream. It will just be a compromised version of it. True harmony only comes when both people sit down, bravely express what they desire, listen to each other, and then reach mutual understanding and agreement. You may have to take a step back, and they may also need to lower their ego, but at least it will be real love, love that is founded on sincerity, not on sweet endurance. And when I look at the message from the forest bathing card, what stands out clearly is this. Deep down, what you might need isn't a promise or a perfect plan, but simply a hug, a gentle presence, enveloping and warm. A feeling that says, I am heard, I am understood. Even if I don't say anything. The symbol of the trees in the card also evokes the image of a quiet yet steady source of support, almost as if you want them to be your foundation. You don't need words. You don't require bold actions. You just need them to understand your heart without needing you to explain everything. However, the mending card shows that your person is someone who finds it difficult to compromise. They have certain expectations, which could be for you or for themselves. They may be the type of person who's accustomed to everyone understanding them without needing to explain. Some of you may even be connecting with someone who holds a high status in society or someone who is pampered in their family, considered the center of attention, and rarely faced rejection. Because of this, they find it difficult to accept when someone doesn't meet their expectations. They may not even realize this, but in reality, they tend to want you to become their ideal version of a partner, without truly asking you if that's something you're happy with. Then, the Seven of Cups appears in reverse, clearly indicating that your person is gradually realizing that the ideals they once envisioned are not as meaningful as they thought. They're beginning to feel confused, unsure about what they really want, and this is leaving them feeling directionless in their feelings. That's why what you need to do right now is not continue perfecting yourself to meet their expectations, but to return to who you truly are, gentle yet firm, and ask them, what is it that you truly expect from me? And from there, you can express what you truly want from them. This isn't a matter of who's right or wrong. It's an invitation for you to step into love as your true self, whole, unafraid, and unfiltered. When you do this, love will finally have the chance to bloom fully. Your person is someone with a very practical mindset, even to the point of being strict in their realism. At the same time, they carry countless ideals within themselves. Everything they desire seems to be built around rigid standards that have been set, and their relationship with you is no exception. The image that comes to mind is that they are trying to thread a very fine thread through a tiny needle's eye, an action that requires precision, accuracy, and leaves almost no room for error. The expectations they have for you are similar. They seem to want you to fit exactly into what they have imagined, neither too much nor too little. They are not the type to openly express what they need, but they expect you to understand, to sense, to intuitively know. For example, when they are tired, they won't say, "I need you here," but deep down, they hope you will come to them, embrace them, and give them strength without needing to speak the words. They are the kind of person who isn't good at asking for what they need, but at the same time, they want to be completely understood. This is perfectionism in emotions. In their very careful observation, they also view you with extreme rationality. They want you to be mature, stable, and practical, just like them. If you have spiritual beliefs, a strong intuition, or enjoy topics like spirituality, tarot, astrology, etc., you may have felt that it's difficult to share those aspects of yourself with them. You may have even hesitated to tell them, "I believe we are soulmates," that we belong together, because you feared that with their personality, just saying that would make you seem dreamy or unrealistic, and it would push them further away. And this brings up a question. If this love takes shape, if you and your person officially come together, would you truly be happy when you can't fully be yourself? Your person, undeniably, is very attractive, strong, decisive, possibly successful, with a prominent position in society. They could be a business person, someone working in a field that requires strategic thinking and high levels of control. They apply the mindset of the business world, setting goals, pushing forward, achieving results, into their approach to love as well. Because of this, rather than nurturing love with gentleness and natural emotions, they unknowingly train their partner, as if guiding a colleague in the workplace. For example, if you show vulnerability, they won't embrace you, but instead will offer a solution. If you need someone to listen, they'll give advice as if in a strategy meeting. Of course, this doesn't mean that they don't love you. On the contrary, they do love you, and that love is genuine. However, the way they express it, stemming from their own way of life and values, can sometimes make you feel suffocated, as if you can't truly be yourself. And you, a sensitive, deep, and introverted soul, need the freedom to be yourself. You don't need someone to try to change you, but someone who understands and accepts you. So, the message here is, don't let love turn you into a version of yourself that fits someone else's expectations. You don't need to meet their standards in order to be loved. You deserve to be loved for who you truly are, a person full of inner strength, deep emotions, and belief in connections that go beyond what is seen. If you dare to live true to that, and if they truly love you, they will eventually learn to love even the irrational parts of you. And that love, when nurtured with sincerity and understanding, will be a deep, lasting, and inspiring love. It's very clear that your person has a rational mindset when it comes to love. They weigh both the pros and cons when considering a relationship. And in fact, this is not necessarily a bad thing. I believe they do this because they want both of you to have a future that is happy and stable. However, if we look deeper, perhaps they are not doing everything for you as they claim, but rather for themselves. The expectations, standards, and hopes all stem from their own concept of what is right. And this can sometimes turn love into a gentle form of pressure on you, even though they don't intend to create that. I'm sorry if this makes you uncomfortable. I don't want to judge them, as the true love card has appeared. This shows that their feelings are sincere, and because they're sincere, they want you to change in ways they believe will make you better, more suited to their vision. They are truly serious about you, and it is precisely this seriousness that leads them to have such high expectations. But love should not be a place where only one person decides what is right or the direction to follow. They may have a very clear vision of the right answer, but if they keep imposing that on you, this love story will become a one-sided journey. So, how should you respond to this? The first thing is to re-acknowledge your own position. You are not the supporting character in their love story. You are the protagonist, the one who holds the light, the sunshine. You are the sunshine in their life. The sunshine card appears as a clear affirmation that you are the center of this story. This is a relationship between both of you, not a play directed by one person with the other just following along. If they are the hero, you are the heroine. If they are the moon, you are the sky. Without you, this story cannot be complete. Therefore, the most important thing right now is not to try to change yourself to fit them, but to make it clear. What do you want? Where do you want this relationship to go? How do you want them to treat you? But above all, who do you want to be in this love journey? Don't let them lead everything. There are parts of the story where you need to take the reins to guide the way. That's the only way for love to be truly yours together, not one person leading while the other follows. Then, the inexperienced card appears as a gentle reminder. You don't need to know everything, you don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to have all the answers. You just need to be yourself, carrying with you sincerity, natural beauty, real emotions, and the deep sensitivity you already possess. Love doesn't require you to be an expert. It only asks that you have the courage to step in, to learn, to feel, and to grow from the heart. And in doing so, you will not only be the main character in this love story, you will also be the one to write the next chapter, in your own way, with your light, with your truest desires in your heart. I believe that you, a person with a rich inner world and a clearly defined sense of self, must already have a solid set of values. Perhaps you are drawn to spirituality, tarot, astrology, things related to intuitive understanding and the depths of the soul. And that is something that deserves to be cherished. You don't need to change anything about yourself. However, in your relationship with this person, someone who has a very rational and practical mindset, what you truly seek may not be complete agreement, but respect. You don't need them to believe in the things you believe in, but you do need them to acknowledge you, to accept the differences between you without denying them. You need them to see you, as you truly are, with your whole soul, your passions, your unique world. And in this journey of love, it is very important to view differences as an opportunity to learn, rather than as barriers. They may bring you a perspective that is very different, practical, logical, while you have the ability to sense with your heart, to delve into the deeper layers of emotion and intuition. When these two things come together, if approached with a spirit of learning, it can create a wonderful combination. Because when you learn how to say, I don't understand that, but I want to understand. Can you explain it to me? Or, what are you expecting from me? Please be clear. I will try if it's within my ability. But I also have things I want from you. It will open up a deeper connection and understanding. When you express yourself in this way, you're not only showing goodwill, but also establishing a mature and fair relationship where neither of you plays the role of teacher and student, where no one leads and the other follows, but instead, you are partners on a journey of learning and growing together. Therefore, even though you are someone very strong, very clear, perhaps in this case, you might want to relax a little. Not to humble yourself, but to create space for sincere dialogue to unfold. Because understanding doesn't always come from who is right and who is wrong, but from both of you daring to come closer, share your true feelings, set aside your expectations, and listen to each other with an open heart. And as you rightly said, ultimately, it's all about how we choose to receive everything that happens. You can choose to view this relationship as pressure to change yourself, or you can see it as an opportunity to understand yourself more deeply through the contrast with a soul very different from your own. You don't need to be like them. You just need to be yourself, but the version of you who knows how to listen, how to express, and how to build a bridge of connection from your differences. True love is not about perfect harmony. It's about two people genuinely wanting to understand each other, little by little, day by day, not for any reason other than love. Your person loves you, that's certain. Even though you may not have known each other for long, the feelings they have for you are sincere. And because they love and cherish you, they want the things they believe to be right and good to be acknowledged and respected by you. They want to be seen as someone trustworthy, someone worthy of learning from, even someone to be admired in your eyes. Therefore, if you can simply say something as simple as, "Thank you for sharing that with me," or "I didn't realize that," thank you, just a gentle sentence like that is enough to warm their heart. Humility, knowing how to listen, knowing when to say thank you, that is the soft key to connecting with someone as strong-willed as them. It doesn't mean you need to lower yourself. It doesn't mean you need to submit. It means using your conscious gentleness to reach their strong sense of self. Just like the saying, a wise woman doesn't need to shout to be heard. She knows when to speak softly to make others listen. You may have heard the saying, behind every successful man is a woman who understands him. But that understanding doesn't mean losing your individuality. On the contrary, they're the ones who are strong, deep, and capable of subtly leading through their intelligence and softness. You're like that too. You have a rich, powerful, and luminous inner world. And you absolutely don't need to force yourself or make them change. Instead, you can choose a gentler, more flexible approach, not to endure, but to allow them to open up on their own.
They don't need you to submit.
They need you to offer praise at the right moments. They need you to show trust. For example, simple phrases, but ones that are highly empowering, such as, "You truly have vision. I've learned so much from you. Thank you, because of you, I'm thinking in a different way." And most importantly, you don't say these things insincerely or to flatter them. You say them because you choose understanding over confrontation. You don't need to turn yourself into someone else. But if you can make them feel that they are the strong man in your eyes, it will make their heart open up, and you will be the one person who makes them feel fully embraced. Because you are the only one with enough depth to understand, enough maturity to not be overwhelmed, and enough intelligence to use true feelings to transform this love into a lasting connection. And believe this, women with inner strength like you are the ones who can make a man who seems difficult to love melt in sincere gentleness. There is a very clear feeling that, in this relationship, sometimes you will need to play the role of a mother or a father, in the sense that you need to be more tactful, more understanding, and emotionally more skilled than they are. You will need to be the calm one, the perceptive one, and know how to lead them in a gentle way without hurting their immense pride. For this reason, learning about psychology will be an incredibly helpful suggestion for you right now. Not just so you can tell them, "I am learning from you," but truly, you will understand more deeply how they think, act, and react. Psychology helps you realize that an action that may seem uncomfortable, controlling, or cold could actually come from a fear of abandonment, a past hurt, or a deep insecurity that has not yet been healed. When you learn to read between the lines, you will not only understand them better, but you will understand yourself more too. And when that happens, harmony will begin to form. When harmony comes, you will gradually see the things you truly wish for actually becoming a reality. As long as you remember that you are the main character in your own story, don't let yourself get caught up in the emotional whirlwinds of the other person and forget your own inner voice. And one more extremely important thing, don't make them guess. The more you stay silent, the more they will likely fall into assumptions, and they might misunderstand you.
Be clear.
Speak up about what you want. Keep them from falling into a state of ambiguity. Because when things are unclear, this person tends to become rigid, controlling, and closed off. And when you delve deeper into the psychology beneath this person through the Forever Young and Cloud cards, you'll see a very different portrait. Someone who, though outwardly strong, logical, and always wanting to control the situation, is inwardly a sensitive, childlike soul, and sometimes very insecure. The Forever Young card shows that they carry the mindset of a child who always wants to explore, to live in fresh emotions, freedom, and joy. They always want to experience new things, always want to move forward. They are the type of person who doesn't like to be bound by repetitive things, but they are also easily unsettled when they don't feel in control. The Cloud card, representing the mist, symbolizes invisible anxieties, underlying doubts, and the things that make them feel insecure. These feelings push them to control, to grasp, to lead. That's why, the more you present yourself as trustworthy, someone who is warm, understanding, and clear, the more they will feel safe being with you. And finally, the wonderful truth is, they are truly thinking about a future with you. Despite the confusion, despite the insecurity, despite sometimes being controlling, they want a long-term commitment. And that love, though imperfect, is very real, very human, and worth nurturing if you also feel that your heart wants to stay. In their mind right now, it seems that they are beginning to think very specifically and seriously about a future with you. For those of you who are not yet officially dating, this person has already begun to think, if it's her, I could see a serious relationship, even marriage. Because it is very rare for anyone to make them feel completely accepted, to be themselves, to embrace even their weaknesses without being judged, as you are doing. And because that is so special, this may be the first time in their life they feel they can truly think long-term, think about someone walking with them for the long haul. However, what is important to note is, this person is not the type to enter a relationship just because they want to marry. They're not looking for someone to marry according to societal standards. They're looking for a true partner, someone with whom they can maintain the feeling of love, freshness, curiosity, and connection as lovers, even after being together for a long time, like a married couple. For them, marriage is not the end goal, It is the natural result of a relationship where they feel alive, loved, and free to be themselves. Therefore, they're not rushing to make specific commitments like engagement or marriage because they really love the current state between you two, a natural, close, non-binding feeling, yet still full of connection. They really want to prolong the feeling of being lovers, soulmates, like children who stay together forever, and it's this feeling of love that serves as a solid foundation, making them think about a future with you in it. However, the cards also show that they are still unsure. They are still hesitant, not because they are not serious, but because they are considering what is best for both of you. They don't want to rush and ruin something that is so beautiful. They want this relationship to become something that is the best for both you and them, a healthy, comfortable, and sustainable relationship. And because of that, they are observing you very closely. They want to see, can you accept their true self? Can you live with the imperfections they cannot hide? Can you choose them every day, even when they're not perfect, not strong, and not as romantic as you might want? And perhaps your reactions in the near future will be the final piece they need to make a decision. So if you want them to be more proactive and clear, let them feel you understand who they are, even the parts that are difficult to accept. You are ready to listen, not just wait for something from them. You also have your own voice and are ready to build a relationship that is fair, mutual, and balanced. Because they don't need someone to follow them. They need someone to walk with them at the same pace and no one to take their hand and move on to the next chapter together. That's right, it's exactly what was mentioned earlier. The fact that you actively accept and understand them will create a pivotal turning point in this relationship. If you're wondering, so, what should I do now that I know this about them? The answer is, accept who they are even with the simplest things. Because what they truly need is not for you to change for them or to do everything they want. They just need to feel that they are accepted, recognized, and understood. They want to be embraced by you, supported, and to hear you say, "Thank you for sharing that with me. Oh, I never thought of that, thank you. I'll try thinking the way you suggested." You don't have to literally act on everything they say. You don't have to try to please them in everything. Because you are the main character of this story, you don't need to give up yourself to be loved. However, what you can and should do is to first accept them, wisely and with great finesse. They carry a deep desire to be recognized. They live with inner strength, intellect, and ambition, and sometimes that causes them to feel lonely in their own world. So, just a simple compliment from you, just a gentle phrase like, "You're always so amazing. I feel really lucky to have you," is enough to soothe their soul. Even if you can't do everything they ask, you just need to say, "I'm sorry, I was a bit distracted. But you really are great. The way you see things is so different from mine." That's enough. No need to force anything, no need to change, just knowing when to nod, smile, and be gentle at the right moment. You may feel that loving someone like this is a challenge, not an easy one. And yes, that's true. Being with this person won't always be easy. But right now, the universe is opening up a moment for both of you to change your fate. Because if you look closely, the overall energy of this reading is moving towards harmony, understanding, and empathy. And then in the final outcome, do you know what appeared? The card of the one, the fated one. No matter the distance, no matter the disagreements, no matter how many times they've hesitated, they cannot walk away from you. You are the one who makes their heart soften. The place where they can be themselves, without needing to put up a front or hide behind any masks. You are where they want to stop and call home. So, the answer to you is, you don't have to be perfect. You only need to be gentle and sincere. For the fated one doesn't come for you to change for them, but to allow both of you to grow and heal together. And you are very close to that moment. They won't leave you. Even though right now, between you two, there isn't a clear form like marriage or an officially defined relationship, that doesn't seem to be the core of your connection. What you two really need is not necessarily form, but presence and peace within each other. Because this relationship is not a fleeting romance. This is a destined bond, true love, the connection of souls on the same frequency, a true soulmate. When the image of the bear appears, it symbolizes strong, deep, and instinctual feelings. And when those feelings become too intense, they can sometimes transform into jealousy. Immediately following that is the image of a wish being fulfilled. And then, a very special message floods in. Perhaps if you continue to live true to yourself, loving him, understanding and supporting him, but not giving up on who you are, that very thing will awaken him. For example, you still remain the gentle, refined woman who understands and sympathizes with his inner child. You don't hinder the path he is following. You support him in continuing to explore the world, challenge himself, and do what he loves. But at the same time, you are the woman who is free, shining in your own world, not losing your individuality, not living entirely around him. You meet friends you enjoy, do work that makes you shine, and live true to your instincts. And it is your brilliance that will make him unable to resist taking action. He loves you, but he is also someone who is easily unsettled. He will want to keep you by his side, not just with words, but through actions. It might be a proposal, a ring, a commitment. As long as you truly desire it, that wish can absolutely come true. However, you need to maintain your inner strength. This man is very strong. And if you become weak, dependent, or lose yourself in love, your wish will be harder to realize. Therefore, the clear message is, be both forgiving and wise. Be gentle and supporting, yet strong and leading. Love, but live true to yourself. Fate has already arranged it. The two of you will not be able to part. So you don't need to worry or be confused. This person will not leave you.
Therefore, stay calm.
Just be yourself, shine, be free, but still gentle and full of love. And then you will witness the miracle that the universe sends your way. Because your wish will come true. The most important thing at this moment is that you need to return to yourself. Focus on your life, the things you want to do, the things that make you feel free, radiant, and full of life. Don't live according to every word they say. Sometimes, quietly resist a little. Do something that you truly want, even if it's not within their expectations. Because if you always follow them, you will lose yourself. And when you lose yourself, the balance in this relationship will be lost, and they will no longer see in you the vibrant inspiration they once did. On the other hand, when you know how to step back at the right moment, stand firm in your own position, and know how to be both gentle, clever, and steadfast like a woman who is unshakable, that is when they will long to solidify this relationship in a tangible form. And, honestly, they have already thought about it, a long-lasting future together. The only thing is, they still have some fear that if the relationship becomes binding, their personal freedom will disappear. But you can completely dispel that fear by showing them that you are a woman who can walk alongside, not bind. You don't demand control. You respect personal space. But you also don't lose yourself. Let them see that you are the ideal partner, someone who knows how to listen, love with an open heart, but never fade into the background. And this is the key to success in this relationship. You are steady, calm, and live fully with yourself. You praise when necessary. You know how to say thank you. You ask when unsure. And you don't avoid speaking your truth when it's needed. You respect them, but also respect yourself. And this relationship, according to the cards, will gradually evolve into a more solid and clear phase, a truly committed relationship where both of you are bound by hearts, trust, and maturity. What has happened before may have been a journey that helped them achieve what they desired. But now, as you begin to understand yourself, love yourself, and live true to yourself, it will be the time for the things you have always wished for to become reality. And yes, it is no coincidence that the two cards of dreams coming true appear together, accompanied by the card of destiny. The universe is telling you that it is time for you to be happy. It is time for you to write the next chapter of this story. With love, with choice, and with your own light. The key to realizing the things you desire. Perhaps you've already heard so much of it in today's reading. If you feel a little something resonating in your heart, that may be a sign that you've received hints from the universe. Everything is truly looking wonderful. Perhaps in your heart, you've once asked, can I be completely happy with this person? I love them so much, but is love enough? These very real doubts may have once existed in your heart. But the truth is, you and this person share a deep, powerful bond that is not easily broken. They are a person with great inner strength, magnetism, and their own power, and this very quality can make your relationship the subject of envy from others. If you share this story with your friends or family, you may hear things like, I think you should break up with that person, or I don't think they care about you. It's not because they don't love you, but sometimes it's because they're looking at things from the outside and cannot understand the depth of the connection between you and them. Because it's true, they may have said things that were a bit too demanding, acted in a way that was somewhat unreasonable, causing you hurt. But if you look deeper, all of that comes from the fact that they truly care about you, genuinely want to protect you, and truly see you as theirs. They want you to be happy, but at the same time, they want to be the one to bring that happiness to you. They may say, I did this for you, but sometimes unconsciously it's also for themselves because of insecurity, fear of losing you, and a strong ego that always wants to be recognized. And because of this, you must never lose yourself. Don't hurt yourself just to keep the peace. Don't try to please them if it causes you to lose your inner voice. And one more thing, if you truly need to confide in someone, choose someone who can see the whole picture, someone not blinded by unconscious jealousy, someone who understands that true love is not always perfect, but still very much worth preserving. Because between you and them, there is real love. It is love that knows how to love and be loved. And in this world, not everyone is lucky enough to have a connection like that. So, it's inevitable that there will be jealous glances, advice that doesn't come from complete understanding. In the end, remember this, there are no truly bad people in this world. There are only those who have been hurt too much, so they don't know how to love fully. The person you love has also been hurt like that. And now, you are gradually helping them heal from that. With your gentleness, your strength, your understanding, and your unwavering love. And don't forget, you deserve to be loved in a way that allows you to be happy as yourself. Not through sacrifice, but through understanding and mutual acceptance. What is truly important here is that you try to learn a little about psychology. If they tend to be rigid or impose something on you, instead of immediately resisting, ask yourself, why has this person become this way? If possible, listen to them gently from their childhood stories, from the wounds they have experienced. Because sometimes the deeper causes start from childhood, from the way they learn to live, love, and protect themselves. If you have the patience to listen and understand, not only will the relationship be healed, but this person will also gradually recover. The universe is telling you that both of you are moving towards a very positive relationship, a connection built on safety, stability, and harmony. A relationship where no one has to sacrifice themselves, where both can live true to themselves and at the same time, still pursue both of your dreams. Therefore, the message here is, live your life to the fullest. Continue to pursue what makes you feel alive and meaningful. Don't forget that you too have dreams that deserve to be heard and realized. True happiness doesn't come from merely pleasing one person. It comes from companionship, respect, and growing together. The final outcome is leading to a very bright future, a relationship where both of you can turn your wishes into reality together. So, congratulations to you, because the journey ahead is opening up with the light of hope and true love. I will now close the reading for Group 2 here. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like and subscribe to support me. Your encouragement is a great motivation for me to continue bringing more meaningful readings. If any part of today's messages touched your heart, leave a comment or simply a small symbol to let me know that it truly resonated with you. I always appreciate each share and look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. See you again in the next readings. Hello, Group 3. Thank you for your patience. Now, I will begin the reading for those who chose Group 3. I hope this reading brings you healing, new insights, and moments full of love. Today, the theme of the reading is, what are they thinking during the time apart from you, or even when they are with you, but their heart is somewhere else? Right at the present moment, the Nine of Pentacles appears, indicating that on the surface or in material life, everything seems fairly stable. Perhaps both of you, or at least one person in this relationship, has a steady job, and the external life seems abundant and admirable. However, when we delve into the emotional aspect, the appearance of the Swords cards, specifically the reversed Ace of Swords and the reversed Six of Swords, starts to reveal the underlying conflicts within both of you. As for you, I sense a feeling of exhaustion. You might be thinking about letting go of this relationship. Not because you no longer love, but because you are too tired to wait or fight alone. Some of you might be forcing yourselves not to think about it, deceiving yourselves into believing, I'm fine, I don't need this relationship anymore. But that's just the protective layer you're using to avoid being hurt. On their side, they are also not truly comfortable. They are carrying many things inside that they cannot or do not want to share with you. Perhaps they fear troubling you, fear making you worry, or simply do not know how to open up. They may be going through a period of exhaustion at work or facing pressures and responsibilities that they themselves cannot easily resolve. The reversed Ten of Wands indicates that they are trying to lighten their load, but not by dealing with it directly, rather by temporarily avoiding or hiding it. Because of this, an unspoken distance is forming between the two of you, not because love is gone, but because there is no longer enough energy to connect. On the outside, looking in, anyone might think that both of you are fine, even a great couple. But deep inside, both of you are tending to isolate yourselves and endure things alone. One is trying to appear strong, while the other is gradually closing off due to exhaustion and a sense of lost direction. This does not mean the relationship is at a dead end. On the contrary, the cards want to tell you that the feelings are still there, it's just that both of you are losing touch with your true emotions. So the next question is, can the two of you heal and reconnect? And from where? Let's continue to explore. In the past, the cards suggest that both of you have been going through a challenging phase, possibly in terms of work, family responsibilities, or things each of you had to handle on your own. This was a time when both sides were trying to stay steady in their own lives, so finding enough energy and focus to nurture the relationship became more difficult. Although this relationship does not show signs of obvious breakage, the emotions within each person have gradually become distant. Even when everything seems fine on the surface, no conflicts, no breakups, deep down, either you or your partner may still feel that something is off, like an unnamed emptiness or a quiet worry that asks, "Where's this going? Can we continue like this forever?" Especially if both of you are starting to think more seriously about the future, like living together, marriage, or building something more concrete. That's when issues that seemed small before begin to surface as obstacles. Perhaps before, love alone was enough. But when considering a long-term commitment, worries, differences, and personal burdens begin to become more apparent. And that's why, even though you may still be in love with each other, still attached, still wanting to meet, still valuing each other, there exists a sense of uncertainty, as if unsure of what comes next. What if this continues? Will the distance, the busyness, the unspoken things drive us apart? Should we continue, or should we take a break? This feeling is clearly reflected in the cards about the future, full of thoughts and hesitation. It's not because love is gone, but because each person is carrying a fear. Fear of not being good enough for each other, fear of not being able to reach the end together, fear of sacrificing without being rewarded. However, the advice card is the Emperor. This is a powerful message from the universe that, in the current situation, what's needed is stability, strength, and leadership. Whether you are male or female, whether you are the one taking initiative or being passive in this relationship, this is the time for you to step up and become the grown-up in love. It's not about control or imposing, but about being firm and clear, first with yourself, then with your partner. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? If I want to commit, what will I do to build that? If they step back, will I be strong enough not to collapse? The Emperor reminds you that love is not just an emotion, but also a responsibility and maturity. And if you can maintain your faith and show stability from within, that will transmit positive energy to them. And together, you can overcome this challenging phase, stepping into a new chapter with a stronger foundation. It seems that in this relationship, you are often the one who has to adjust and adapt to your partner. You might often find yourself looking at their mood, depending on their schedule or emotions to decide what you should do or say. As a result, this relationship may make you feel not truly free, not truly yourself. You may be in love, but you don't fully feel the happiness and comfort that love is supposed to bring. It's possible that while love is in a precarious state, your work or other aspects of your life are going very smoothly. But because of this, the imbalance between your emotional life and the other areas of your life makes you feel even more exhausted and doubtful. The beautiful opportunities, the bright possibilities in this relationship, as the cards have suggested, seem to be viewed with caution, hesitation, and even a lack of trust that something good will come. Perhaps you are carrying a fear of being hurt, so you don't allow yourself to hope. Now, let's shift to the state of your partner. What's going on in their inner world? A card has popped out, the Two of Swords, symbolizing inner conflict and avoidance of the truth. They are in a state of wanting to keep their distance, not wanting you to dig deeper into what's happening inside them. It's as if they're trying to hide something, not out of dishonesty, but because they don't want you to see their weakness, their imperfections. The next card, the Five of Cups, further clarifies this. This person is sad, feeling a sense of loss, facing something that keeps them from holding their head up. If you two are not meeting often, or if there has been a temporary distance, that time has been truly gloomy for them. They feel empty, disappointed, possibly because of what has happened between the two of you, or it could be that something is off in their personal life. But instead of voicing it, they choose to withdraw, to keep it hidden so you don't see their darker side. In essence, they are avoiding the truth, not because they don't care about you, but because they fear that you will see them in their vulnerable state, and in doing so, they might lose you. However, This silence and distance are making you feel confused, unsure whether to continue or withdraw. This is a situation that requires patience, stability from you, but at the same time, it also calls for you to listen to yourself. Do you still want to continue walking this path with them if this journey of love always forces you to wait and adapt? And above all, if you keep stepping back, making concessions to keep them by your side, then does that mean they truly love you, or do they only love the convenience you bring? It seems that your person is trying to hide something. Not because they want to deceive or distance themselves from you, but because they don't want you to know that they are hurting, that they are vulnerable. They don't want you to see that fragile side of them because deep down they still want to be the strong one, the one who can tell you, everything will be okay. I'm fine. However, the reality is quite the opposite. There is a deep sadness residing in this person's heart. It could be a pain related to you, like the two of you having parted ways, or you being the one who said stop, or perhaps the fact that you no longer communicate regularly. It could also be another pain from their personal life, work, responsibilities, a loss of some sort. Whatever the cause, that sadness lingers around them, making them want to hide it, to avoid your gaze. What is clear is that this person still has a lot of feelings for you. Whether you've never officially been together, once loved and then broke up, or are in a vague relationship, they still want to give this connection another chance. If this is someone you once loved and are now apart, they still harbor a wish to return, to touch your heart once more. If this is a new person, they are hoping for a fresh start, but it seems they are fearful, hesitant because they too are hurt. And because they are hurting, they hope that this time, someone will tell them, it's okay, I'm still here. But they don't have the courage to admit that. They want to be the one to protect, to be the one to give you faith, not the one who needs to be saved. You could say, this is a heart that is both proud and longing to be loved. They don't want you to see them as weak. They don't want you to see the wounds that have not yet healed within them. But can you feel it? Can you see the quiet, sorrowful signals they're sending? If so, and if your heart is still drawn to them, then the most important thing now is not to pressure or demand anything from them, but to show them that you're not leaving. You're not judging. You can quietly be there as a place they can lean on when they're ready. Therefore, perhaps some of you have actively reached out to them but received no response. The connection between you two is truly strong and special, but perhaps due to the current circumstances or the timing in each person's life journey, this relationship cannot progress smoothly for now. It could be due to life stages, work, responsibilities, or other priorities that prevent you from being as close as before. However, during this time apart, the things that they are thinking about are very clear. It is the desire to hold you in their arms once again, to feel your warmth, to long for both physical and emotional closeness. This person is carrying a great deal of loneliness. Because of this, they miss you deeply, missing even the simplest things like a touch, a glance, or the times when being together didn't require any words to understand each other. When asking the cards what you mean to them, the answer that appeared is attachment, an emotional bond, perhaps even a form of emotional dependence. This person seems to have developed a very deep attachment to you. It's not simply liking you or loving you, it's the feeling of needing you, as if without you, their life lacks a foundation, lacks something essential. Perhaps they themselves feel that this attachment is a bit too much, to the point where they don't want you to realize it. And perhaps that's why they are avoiding. They don't reply to messages, don't initiate contact, because they don't want you to see their weakness, their dependency, or the hurt inside them. In their eyes, you are the one who is willing to be forgiving, the one who is gentle enough to listen, strong enough to endure, and warm enough to heal. Even though the two of you may not be close enough to fully understand each other, just the feeling they have about you is enough to make them want to be near you, to be in your world. It can be said that they have fallen into your tenderness, in a very natural, profound way, almost uncontrollably. Because of this person is truly sinking into you. They are relying heavily on you. Their emotions seem to drift along with your embrace, dependent on the compassion and warmth that only you can provide. More accurately, they're being spoiled by your love, a love that not everyone can give or receive genuinely. In this connection, it seems that the scale tips slightly towards you being the giver, while they are unconsciously receiving, as if they know that by just being with you, they will be forgiven, protected, and gently embraced no matter what happens. And because of this, you may be the one trying to create distance. Perhaps you've told yourself, for my own sake, I need to stop. I have to let go of this person. You are trying to break free from this deep connection. Maybe you've cut off contact or set boundaries, like not initiating messages, not looking at old photos, not allowing yourself to fall deeper. But in your effort, I can sense the pain from you. There's something very profound, very gentle, but filled with endurance, because you still love, still care, and still very much want to love them as you did before. I feel that, for you, giving love to this person is one of your truest forms of happiness. Because you are a gentle and compassionate person, and taking care of others is how you express your affection. So now, when you are forced to suppress those feelings, to keep the love tucked away in a deep corner of your heart, you are truly in pain. Perhaps you've poured that energy into work, into things that can keep you busy, to forget the feeling of loneliness from not being loved in the way you desire. And as we dive deeper into your true emotions, the past life card appears. Once again, it confirms that it is very likely that the two of you are currently in a period of separation, whether temporary or a past breakup. In your heart, you are still drawn to what once was, perhaps the happy moments you shared, the gentle gestures, the promises from the past. Both of you seem to be living in the memories. Even if you are still in a relationship now, instead of enjoying the present together, you often find yourselves looking back to those days, when everything seemed easier, closer, warmer. You still want to start over. And I believe the other person feels the same way. Both of you are quietly holding on to the beautiful things from the past, perhaps because you loved so much, you couldn't let go. Maybe because there are too many regrets, you haven't been able to start again. But the feelings are still there, intact. Perhaps you are the one carrying the energy of the past life, and deep down, you may have felt that you and this person share a karmic bond from a past life. Perhaps that is why you always feel that there is something so familiar, so close between you, as if you once belonged to each other in some distant, deep, past life. This feeling draws you strongly, pulling you toward them with an irresistible force. And in return, they also pull you toward them, like an unspoken magnetism. Many times, you may have felt as if you were about to lose to this powerful attraction, an attraction not only because of their appearance, but also because of the very deep connection inside. When the card carrying the energy of the devil appears, I ask the question, what does this truly represent? And the answer that came up was boundary. Yes, boundaries are necessary. It's very likely that between you and this person, or within their inner world, healthy boundaries are not being properly established. This isn't about slamming the door shut on them, but about finding a comfortable distance, a distance that makes you feel safe, at ease, and still able to remain yourself. In this connection, you may have felt like you were being overwhelmed or swept away by too many emotions. There is nothing clear, no ending, but there is also no true beginning. Everything seems to be floating in limbo. And sometimes you feel like you are addicted to this person. The devil can sometimes indicate an obsession, an emotional dependence to the point of forgetting yourself. I apologize for having to say this directly, but when I look at the entire picture of the cards, I must honestly ask, does this person really bring a positive influence to your life? I know that when doing readings, the goal is always to foster connection, healing, and hope, but with this one, I can't help but feel that there is something that calls for caution. Perhaps this person was once the light, the motivation, the place where you felt your truest emotions come alive. But right now, the question is no longer about how much you love them, but whether you are loving yourself enough. This person may be destiny, a soulmate, the memory of a past life, but are you losing yourself in that connection? And are you receiving back what you're giving in return? The answer lies in setting boundaries. Not to distance yourself, but to return to yourself. When you are strong enough, the other person, if truly destined, will adjust and come to you in a healthier way. But if not, it may be a karmic bond that has come to the point where it needs to transform, allowing you to become a more radiant and free version of yourself. And then, when the attachment card appears at this moment, I truly sense that for them, this attachment may be a comfortable thing, even a source of life. But what about you? Is this connection bringing growth and happiness to you? Perhaps, to some extent, it is causing you to lose your way. Are you being slowly pulled into the strong magnetic force from this person? It could be called a spell or an emotional magnetic field, something that makes it impossible for you to leave, but also makes it impossible to feel fully at peace while staying. Here, you may be influenced by a karmic connection, a past life cause and effect. Perhaps you were once deeply bonded in a past life, and in this life, you two have met again to continue completing something unfinished. That's why you feel, even if you want to break free, it's not easy to let go. It seems there is an invisible force that keeps pulling you back to this person. And what's important to note is that, even when you think you are the one loving more, the one chasing and not being reciprocated, the truth may be the opposite. In silence, they may actually need you more. They depend on your affection, your light, and your healing presence, more than you realize. They may not show it, but inside, they are needing you, clinging to your energy to keep themselves from falling apart. And because of this, you need a boundary even more. Because this love, without healthy boundaries, will turn into a two-way dependency. And when that happens, your light, the brilliance that naturally exists within you, will be overshadowed. You may have once been a person full of inspiration, vibrant, and passionate about life. But since stepping into this relationship, you may have gradually lost a part of yourself, feeling smaller, feeling like you have to put up a front, endure, and compromise. And so, the question arises sincerely and seriously, is this love truly good for you? Not in terms of right or wrong, but in terms of being healthy and healing, meaning a love that makes you bloom more, become stronger, and love yourself more. If this love makes you tired, makes you stop believing in yourself, makes you fade away, then no matter how deeply they love you, that connection needs to be reevaluated. Remember this. You were not born to be the light for someone else while losing yourself. You were born to shine with someone, to grow together, to be radiant together. If this love makes you dull, then it is not the love you deserve. Therefore, this is the moment for you to listen deeply to yourself. And if necessary, choose yourself. Choose yourself even if it means walking away or setting new boundaries. Not because you don't love them, but because you love yourself enough not to accept a love that harms you further. You deserve a love that nourishes both your heart and soul. Honestly, I don't know the specific circumstances of each of you who are watching. Every love story is a unique journey, and because of that, I can't casually say, everything will be fine, just trust in this love. But when I connect with the energy of this person, the one you are thinking of, I sense a very strong magnetic pull, like an invisible force or magnetic field that they radiate. It makes it impossible for me to say that this is just a relationship that could go either way, whether it happens or not. On the contrary, it is profound, somewhat serious, and somewhat dangerous. Therefore, what I want to send to you is, move forward with clear eyes and a heart that knows how to love itself. When I drew cards about this person, two cards appeared, the King of Cups and the Knight of Swords. This shows that this is a person with a rich inner world and deep emotions. They have emotional depth, calmness, compassion, and a tendency to be tolerant and generous with others. They may be the ideal partner in the eyes of many, someone who brings a sense of safety, stability, as if they could hold your entire world without judgment. However, accompanying this is the energy from the Knight of Swords, someone who tends to act decisively, aggressively, sometimes a bit hastily. Once they decide on something, they charge ahead with lightning speed, not allowing others the time to react. They are confident in their judgments, sometimes to the point of stubbornness. And in relationships, they can be the one who always holds the reins, the one who makes the final decisions. Because of this, their attraction comes not only from their warm energy, their emotional stability, but also from their strong charisma, sharpness, and excellent ability to take initiative. This is the type of person who easily draws others in, who is admired, even adored, without them realizing it. You might feel like you're completely enveloped when you're with them, comforted, protected, while also mentally stimulated because they always have something new to pursue, something to explore. And this explains why it's hard for you to break free from them, why you feel pulled back even after trying to let go. The blend of the emotional beauty of the King of Cups and the intellectual allure, the actions of the Knight of Swords, is what creates the powerful attraction of this person. And finally, the message I want to share with you is, if their true self, with all that compassion, initiative, and strength, is their genuine and stable nature, then there is nothing wrong with continuing to walk alongside them. But if behind that exterior lies control, manipulation, or a tendency to make you shrink yourself, then you need to observe more carefully. True love is when you can be with someone without losing yourself, not being with someone who makes you shrink just to fit into their world. Love with your heart, but never forget to maintain the clarity of your mind. Perhaps you are the only one in the world, that they can show their vulnerability to. They may not express it in words, but you still feel it. It is a very special feeling, a deeply rooted connection. This person often presents themselves as strong, confident, and admired by everyone around them. They have a public persona, always trying to maintain a beautiful, solid, proper, and reliable image in the eyes of others. But a person is the sum of both their light and dark sides, a blend of sunshine and the quiet spaces within their soul. And you're the person they feel they can let go of that mask with, or at least the person they cannot hide their deepest truths from. They may not say it, but you can feel it. You see behind those calm eyes a soul that is sometimes weary, the undercurrents that they don't want anyone else to see. And because you can feel it, that's why you are able to be so gentle, so compassionate with them. You don't love them just for their outward beauty, talents, and charm. You love even the parts they're ashamed of, the cracks and fragility in their soul. The King of Cups appears, once again confirming that this person truly has sincere and deep feelings for you. They are not approaching you to exploit or manipulate, but because they sense the healing and understanding from you. But at the same time, as you know and feel very clearly, this person carries a very powerful attraction, a kind of magnetism that makes it hard for others to resist. They are the type of person who can make many fall for them, drawn into their world. And you perhaps are one of those people. But the question is, what about you? The Nine of Wands reversed shows that you know this. You are fully aware of all of this. You know they are attractive. You know they have a sincere heart. You know you are in love, but you also feel that something is causing you to hesitate. Perhaps you are trying to keep a distance. You fear that if you take another step, if you give more, the end result will still not lead you to the place you dream of. Maybe you've trusted before and been disappointed. You've dreamed of a future only to face reality. Perhaps you are asking yourself, can I really be with this person? Will this love take me to the place my heart desires? You love, but you are hesitant. You love, but you are cautious. You love, but you are also protecting yourself. And that's not wrong. You absolutely have the right to do so. You are asking a very practical question. Will this love, no matter how deep, truly bring me happiness? You may still be on the journey of seeking the answer to that question. But no matter what, you are the only one who can see both sides of them and love them, not just for their light, but also for the cracks in their soul. What remains is, do you still have the strength to continue loving them if that love is still something that cannot be fully reached? For example, when this person calls you to meet, even though you are very tired, just their call makes you go meet them. This partly stems from the fear that if you express your true feelings, they might no longer want to meet you. That if you refuse once, they will find someone else to call. This person seems to have an invisible power that makes you always cautious, always having to adjust yourself to fit in. A magnetic pull full of pressure, making you feel like you can't fully open up to them. Perhaps you also feel that to open your heart 100% to this person is incredibly difficult. Because this person truly has a strong energy, like a power person, someone who has a strong influence on the emotions and actions of others. In a relationship with someone like this, you can easily be drawn in, swept up in their rhythm, and lose your own voice. But this makes you feel that if this relationship continues as it is, it will truly become exhausting. Now, let's see what the cards have to say about the next development in this relationship. And then, the Man card appeared. This card represents true love. Oh, wow. I have to say, it's an incredibly intense moment. It feels like I want to shout out a big bravo. The image in this card, there's something about it that strongly resonates with the energy I've been talking about all this time. Right now, it seems like the universe is putting this person to a challenge. A true love challenge. The question is whether they can act according to their true feelings for you, whether they can be honest with their own heart. Things are being laid out very clearly right now, very simply, but it's a big test. It feels like this person needs to mature more. Maturity here doesn't mean the general kind, but maturity to be able to truly commit, walk alongside, and build a healthy relationship with you. To enter a true love, they need to overcome the stage of control, of a strong ego, and instead learn how to connect based on equality and empathy. Not just an ordinary person, this individual seems to be carrying very large social responsibilities. Perhaps they have been and are performing well in their roles at work, in the family, or simply as someone who is expected by many. They may be the person everyone looks to, from colleagues, friends, to parents. They carry many burdens, but they are the type of person with enough talent and ability to shoulder those responsibilities. There's a sense that this person belongs to the future, someone who will continue to shine and reach even further, and is receiving hopeful looks from many sides. However, amidst a person surrounded by light and responsibility, there is still another part, a weaker, more fragile ego that they only reveal to you. Only you get to see that hidden side. Only with you do they allow themselves to be vulnerable, to lean on and rely on you. If this person can no longer maintain the beautiful exterior in front of you, no longer try to act strong, but instead completely let go and lean on you, that, in itself, becomes a problem. Why? Because that dependency, that leaning on you too much, though it comes from affection, is slowly eroding the very image of them that you once admired. Perhaps at first, you were fascinated by how strong, confident, and capable they were in every situation, but now, if they continue to be weak in front of you, that very part you once loved will begin to fade. Therefore, the cards indicate that this person will eventually rise up, they will regain themselves. If you are currently considering stopping, wanting to leave this relationship because you feel too exhausted, then perhaps that moment will be a turning point, a pivotal moment. This person will realize they are losing something very precious. They will feel the risk of losing you, and that fear will drive them to change. From there, they will realize that this is the true love of their life, and they will take action. They will express their feelings, even propose to you. Everything happening right now is a challenge. And what's even more special, this is a challenge you have set. Perhaps you didn't intend to, but the changes in your feelings and attitude are forcing the other person to face the biggest lesson in this love. The Six of Cups, a symbol of familiarity, of a place that makes us feel safe and comfortable, appears in the reverse position. Normally, this is the energy of nostalgia, of warm and pleasant memories, as if returning to a familiar home, a place where we can truly be ourselves. And what's important to note is that for this person, you are that home. Whether you've known each other for a long time or just started, the moments spent with you are always the most healing for them. With you, they can return to being themselves, without the need to put on a facade, without having to pretend. You are the safest place, the most peaceful space in their world, their own universe where they can exhale and feel relief. But now, the card appears in the reverse state. This indicates that you have been and are gradually withdrawing your energy from this relationship. And this may be something truly necessary. Because if you continue to stay, continue to allow them to rely on you, they will never be forced to face themselves and grow. However, you are still standing before a great temptation, the temptation of your own emotions. You are still in love, still wanting to be with this person. If they say, I want to see you, I miss you, you would still want to meet them, still easily agree. Therefore, this is not only a challenge for the other person, but also a challenge for you. A challenge about love, boundaries, and whether you are strong enough to not lose yourself in this relationship. When you keep responding to their calls, everything will repeat. You will find yourself falling into the same old cycle. Because every time you comply, this person becomes more reliant on you, letting go even more and becoming selfish, demanding more from you. If you want this person to truly wake up, to truly become aware and reflect on themselves, you need to start with yourself, by learning how to love and appreciate yourself properly. And loving yourself doesn't mean being indifferent to the other person, but rather not allowing yourself to be swept up in their emotional control, not allowing yourself to be the one who always endures and submits. The first thing is, don't be the person who always gives in to their desires. Don't let yourself be led by their sweet words or temporary temptations. Because it's clear in the reading, this has come up very strongly, that if you continue to soften in the face of those temptations, the current situation will keep repeating itself, with nothing changing. The cards emphasize, you need to set boundaries. Clear boundaries are essential at this stage. And this is not only a lesson for them, but also a big challenge for you. To overcome this challenge, you will likely need to try very hard to restrain and suppress your feelings. But it feels like you are already leaning toward that. You're beginning to feel that you can't continue this way forever, and you're gradually wanting to find balance within yourself. Perhaps before, you gave too much, especially in the early stages of the relationship. Maybe you showed too much affection, took too much initiative, expressed your emotions too clearly, as if you laid your heart bare in front of them. This is not wrong, it's not a mistake. But because of this, the other person may have become complacent, too confident about their place in your heart. It's also possible that this person has always been very attractive, someone who draws attention from many people around them, the type of person who is often noticed and pursued by others. And because of that, they gradually develop the mindset that being loved is natural, that they deserve to be loved, and there's a bit of arrogance, a sense of superiority. I apologize if this might make you feel uncomfortable, but through the energy of the cards, it seems that this person leans a bit toward ego, with a tendency to think they always hold power and love. The Emperor card has also appeared, showing that this is a person with a strong presence, ambitious, with a natural charm that makes others pay attention. And because of that charm, you too have been drawn to them, captivated by their confidence, by the way they present themselves, which at times makes you feel like you can't resist. Additionally, I'm sorry if there are younger listeners here, but I feel the need to be clear that there may be a very strong physical connection between the two of you. Perhaps you share a powerful physical bond that makes it even harder for you to break free from this relationship. The physical attraction may make it easy for you to fall weak, to overlook everything, just for a moment of closeness. But remember this, it is only when you overcome that temptation, when you maintain your boundaries, that you will truly make them reflect and grow. And it is also to protect your heart, your self-respect, and the completeness of the love you deserve to receive. Therefore, looking at what is happening, it's clear that this person is very prone to becoming dependent, especially dependent on you. They tend to rely too much, lean too heavily on you. And because of this, if the two of you have not yet entered into a clear relationship, if there is no official commitment, then, even though this may break your heart, you still need to establish clear boundaries. Don't let things continue in ambiguity. If the relationship hasn't been defined yet, you can absolutely say, "Sorry, I can't continue like this," or even be direct and say, "We need to be serious now." You have the right to say that. And this is truly necessary, because this is the very clear message the cards are sending you. Do not let everything continue to go according to their wishes. Perhaps throughout this time, you have repeatedly suppressed your feelings, tried to accommodate this person, always being the one to give in, only for your true desires to never be met. Maybe you've sacrificed, given, hoped, but in the end, the things you longed for have always remained unfulfilled, never returned in a way that feels deserving. However, if now you bravely create a pause, even if only temporarily, if you dare to set a challenge for both them and for yourself, if you dare to step back from being the one always there, that very action could awaken them. When they lose that sense of security, when they are no longer pampered by you as before, they will begin to reflect, and perhaps at that moment, they will realize what their true love is. From there, actions such as confessing their feelings, expressing themselves, even asking for a more serious commitment, such as a proposal, could very well happen. Everything could shift in a profound way. Situations like this are actually not rare. They happen more often than you might think. I want to share with you not only as a tarot reader, but also as a woman, someone who has loved, someone who has experienced emotions just like you. If you feel like you've been pulled into this person too much, if you feel like you're always the one enduring, always running after them, always adjusting to their rhythm, then now is the time to put yourself first. Even if you really want to see them, really want to be with them, and find yourself easily softening in front of them, don't forget, the most important thing is that you must love yourself first. Take care of and protect your own heart. When you start to say no, when you dare to refuse what's unclear, when you stand up for your own worth, then either they will awaken and come back to you with a more sincere heart, or they will leave. And if they leave, you need to understand, that is not a loss, but a liberation. Because you deserve a love that cherishes you, that respects you, not a love that makes you force yourself to endure, to do everything to hold on. It may be true. Perhaps you really love this person. But no matter how deeply you love them, if they don't appreciate you, if they don't treat you the way you deserve to be treated, then staying with them will only lead you to repeat a vicious cycle, a cycle where happiness continues to slip further out of reach. And from the bottom of my heart, I believe you should not have to accept that. You deserve a love that makes you happy, not a love that keeps making you sad and doubting yourself. You might think that breaking away from this person, refusing to meet them, setting clear boundaries is a gamble, something too risky. But if, at any point, you've ever asked yourself, why do I have to hear these things? Why does this person do things that hurt me? If you've ever felt sad, tired, or had to swallow your tears, then please choose to protect yourself first. Embrace your heart, gently, firmly, and with love. The outcome may not be that they wake up and come back to you with a changed heart. Instead, the miracle might lie within you, that you will awaken to your own love. Not the love directed towards them, but the love for yourself. And when you truly step into that state, the state of someone who knows how to value themselves, the right person for you, someone truly deserving of you will appear. Not because you are waiting, but because you are now ready to receive a true love. No matter which way it goes, you will still have love, true love. That is certain. And that love will come when you truly dare to face your own emotions, when you dare to say, I deserve more than this, and from that point, take action for your own happiness. It's not a fairy tale miracle, but a natural thing, something that will happen as a reward for those who know how to love and choose themselves. I know that what you're going through is not easy. This is a very difficult path, one that can be painful, filled with doubt and inner conflict. But perhaps this is the turning point, the place where you need to make a choice, to choose between continuing to struggle in a relationship that makes you question your own worth, or daring to step into the light of healing. No matter what situation you're in or what kind of relationship you're in, you can still learn something about love. And that learning will help your soul grow, mature, and shine in its own way. Therefore, the message the cards are sending to you is: cherish every moment of the present. Truly live in the now, with each heartbeat of your own. When you receive this message, the thing I most want to tell you is, you deserve to live in your own world, to look at it and enjoy it in the fullest way possible, not just revolve around them. Because this person has a powerful attraction. They make you constantly focus on them, constantly pull you in. But what you need to do now is not continue following them, but to look again at your own world. Return to yourself. Explore what you love, what makes you happy, what excites you, what makes you feel truly yourself. When you do this, when you truly live in your own world, it's very likely that this person, or someone else, will appear in that world as a harmonious part, not as the dominating center. No matter what the outcome is, no matter whether they continue to walk alongside you or not, what is certain is that your world will become happy. And that happens when you know how to protect your own world, when you are genuinely kind to yourself, when you place your hand on your heart and say, from now on, I will love myself more. This person is not dangerous or toxic. They are not an evil person, not a devil trying to take something from you. But it's true that they carry a very strong attraction, an energy that pulls you in irresistibly. And because of that, it's completely understandable that you are drawn to them, that you feel deeply moved. In fact, I believe there is a deeper connection between the two of you, on a soul level. This is likely a soulmate connection, someone you and they have met somewhere in a past life. However, a soulmate does not necessarily have to be the person who will walk with you through life. Meeting a soulmate does not mean you must love them, bond with them, or marry them. What matters most is whether you are happy. If you are with this person but do not feel happy, if you have to sacrifice yourself, compromise your self-respect, or endure pain in silence, then perhaps it's time for you to reflect. What do you truly want in love? It is when you dare to reflect like this that you will open the door to true love. The cards want to affirm that true love will certainly come. But it happens when you truly face your emotions, confront what you are going through, and choose to love yourself completely and courageously. So, while today's reading presents very beautiful results, for some of you, this may not entirely align with your expectations, not the promise you have been hoping for. But remember, every relationship, every experience in love is a precious gift. They all help you grow, help you see yourself, and bring you closer to the person you want to become. So, face this person honestly, but at the same time, turn inward and face yourself. Place yourself in the most important position in your life. Cherish, care for, and love yourself, because you deserve a love that makes you shine, brings peace, and happiness from within your soul. If you have felt and embraced what I truly wanted to convey through this reading, then congratulations. I believe something wonderful is about to happen to you in the near future. If there is something in these words that resonates with you, that feels like a spark has touched your heart, then I hope you will support me by subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and leaving a comment to share your thoughts. That is the great motivation that helps me continue to bring deeper and more meaningful readings. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch until the end of the video. I wish you a peaceful and lucky day. See you again in the next readings.